Oh gosh, do I have any I know I do. Xbox 360 info. Do I have a save file? Ooh. I don't know. Huh, I guess I do. Yeah, I forget this is a 360 game. I mean, it was. God, I had it on the DS. I had it on PC, but I also had it on DS. Of course, we're on an Xbox One. You don't think, Ode to Joy isn't copyright, right? Like the... whatever? We literally just started a minute ago, and no, I have not been talking. I literally just started. I haven't said anything. Yep, nope, I just started. Yeah, you don't think... Ode to Joy's way too old to be copyrighted, right? Like, Twitch... I'm not gonna get Twitch DMCA struck right now. Right? I should be fine. Let's... Actually, let's kill the fever music. I have no idea. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We'll work with it. I have not that many people still remain from the Animal Crossing days. My 15 minutes of fame are far and over. So today, okay. So originally I was, yeah, you're one of the few. Ooh, what the? I don't like that. Laughs in OG. Yeah. So originally we were gonna do an Xbox game today. We were gonna do an Xbox game. I had one in mind for the Xbox One. And then I started downloading it at like, I don't know, like 3 o'clock. That was 6 hours ago. It still hasn't finished downloading. 6 hours later. And I was still waiting on the game to download. So, like, last minute, so like 30 minutes ago, I was like, you know what? Okay, this clearly isn't going to be finished in time. So let's instead do something else. Let's pick another game. Ooh, Peggle Knight. Yeah, Bjorn the Unicorn. I know how to play Peggle. So yeah, I was like, you know what? Let's do another game. And then I remembered Peggle existed. And I was like, oh yeah, Peggle's on Xbox Game Pass, isn't it? Oh shit, let's do Peggle. I loved this game. I loved this game as a kid. All, 10 years ago now? So it's... I was just like, yeah, let's do Peggle. Because admittedly, the game I had planned was a little bit more involved. And, you know, it's Nintendo Direct Day. I kind of want to put... we are going to talk about the Direct today. Definitely. We're going to have a very serious discussion about the Nintendo Direct today. Because I have very complicated feelings on it. Actually, they're not too complicated. But yeah, the other game I had planned, it was gonna be a little bit more involved. It was gonna definitely be something a little different than what I normally do. I'll say that for sure. But you know, I'll take it. Yeah, this is fine. This is probably copyright free. I mean, the song's hundreds of years old, I think. No, you know what song got me screwed over by copyright? The song from freaking Nom Nom Galaxy. That's the one that screwed me over. Ah, what a fun game Nom Nom Galaxy is, though. But yeah, last minute I changed it. And Peggle, like the other game's like a 70 plus gig download. Peggle, not even a gig. So I was able to download it in like 10 minutes. So yeah, that's why we're doing Peggle instead of what I originally have planned. But another day, probably next week, we'll get around to what I originally have planned. I'm not gonna, even though there's nothing stopping me from saying what it is, I'm just not gonna say it. But yeah, so today's just a relaxed day. We have 3 news stories tonight. And technically I've broken the Nintendo Direct up into 2 different news stories, but that's because we're going to have a very serious discussion today about the Nintendo Direct. Because the Nintendo Direct deserves very serious discussion. Because it's a Nintendo Direct. But yeah, other than that, I've just been so busy this week. Like always, college is day in, day out, 12 hours a day. It's keeping me busy, that's for sure. But now I get to relax and play some Peggle. Who was I watching play Peggle recently? I was watching somebody play Peggle recently. Who was that? Oh, it was Doug. He had Twitch plays Peggle, where he, like the Twitch chat controls Peggle. It was kind of funny. Yeah, that's where I'd watch Peggle recently. But yeah, I love this game. I really did back in the day. Haven't played it in years, so we'll start off like okay, because I still kind of remember some things. But eventually this game will kick my ass. You know what else? You know, and then there's a new game. It's on Steam Early Access right now. There's like a demo you can play. I think it's a free demo anyways. Called Peglin, which is a Peggle spirit, like Peggle mixed with Slay the Spire. And that has some promise. I don't know if it fully lives up to that promise, but it's got potential in theory. Yeah. Oh, the memory. The memories are all flooding back to me. Yeah. Eventually it's gonna kick my... Eventually I'm just gonna get stuck and screwed. But that'll happen later. Okay, in the next, 2 levels. Purple pigs. Yep, there we go. Point multipliers. Come on. No, don't go that direction. I want, an extreme slide. I'll take a free ball. Sure. Come on. Yeah, there we go. So, anything else I want to talk about for the intro? Not really. It's just been a busy week. And now I have the weekend to do nothing. Actually, I am, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, I talked about running my first ever D&D game And that's this weekend. I have to run it. I'm running the what will presumably be the second half. I don't expect it to take more than 2 parts, honestly. We've been making some pretty good progress so far. So I don't expect it to, like, I would not be surprised if this is our last part. And then we'll talk about that next week. Hopefully. So yeah, I guess that brings us right into the news. The ball will head where you aim. Yeah. Wait. It did say left trigger and right trigger, right? I guess just using the left D-pad works. So yeah, I guess that brings us to our first news story. So before we get into Nintendo Direct, which is our second story, let's talk about Star Wars. Specifically, there's a rumor right now that Quantic Dream, you know, Quantic Dream, the studio behind Detroit Become Human, okay, they did Detroit Become Human. They did... What else did they do? They did Beyond Two Souls. I remember that one for sure. I remember Beyond Two Souls. That one I actually played. Terrible. Terrible. And then what was the one that made them was it called Heavy Rain? Was that it? Was Heavy Rain that piece of shit? Yeah, it was like where they first came out and it was just kind of a mess. Now, of course, nowadays, David Cage, I think it's David Cage, right? The lead director at Quantic Dream is basically a massive knobhead who literally is being sued right now by the French government. And while in court, he threw a temper tantrum and like cried. No, seriously, that happened. Or something along those lines, anyways. So yeah, David Cage is a massive knobhead. But, yeah, he's a knobhead. So the idea that Quantic Dream is working on a Star Wars game, in some fashion, sounds terrible. I kind of hate that idea, because Quantic Dream... David Cage really wants to make... Again, assuming I'm thinking of... David Cage leads Quantic Dream. I should probably look that up right now, actually. I'm pretty sure it's David Cage, though. David Cage. David Cage is a French video game designer, founder of Quantic Dream. Yep, so I was correct on that. Yeah, he's a knobhead, and he said all sorts of terrible things, and his company's is a fucking mess, and they're being, yes, sued by the French government at the moment. You know, kind of like what's going on with Activision Blizzard. Because Activision Blizzard is also a bunch of knobheads. Now if only they'd go after Ubisoft, who is also terrible because they sexually and physically abuse their employees. Or it was something along those lines anyways with the French government, and because I know David Cage was taken to court for, I'm pretty sure it was harassment. But yeah, he threw a temper tantrum, and I mean, it'd be funny if it wasn't for the fact that, like, a lot of people got, like, hurt. Because, again, people were sexually abused. Like, I know there was, like, nudes of him going around the studio and stuff like that. Or at least, allegedly, that's the story. But yeah, the idea of him working on a Star Wars game sounds terrible. But it's also something I can totally... Wow, that was a terrible shot. It's also something I could totally realistically see. That totally sounds like something that could happen. Because David Cage really wants to make movies. But his games are so bad that anything that, like, they would get laughed out of Hollywood. And Hollywood's the thing that's making that Mario Brothers movie right now. His things are way worse than that. I don't know. I know some people like Detroit, like not even like liked it. I played Detroit Become Human. I should say that. I did play that. I played Beyond Two Souls and I played Detroit Become Human. And or at least I didn't beat it, but I played up until, oh gosh, where did I leave off? I think they were at the carnival. That's the last thing I remember off the top of my head. Is that like the robot girl takes the little girl to like a carnival or something, or they like hide out in an amusement park, and then like all the robots in the abandoned amusement park like come to life and put the girl on the Ferris wheel because it's David Cage. It's fucking whimsical, you know? And yeah, I think that was the last time I played it. And that was a while ago. Okay, good. But yeah, so I think, so the idea of Quantic Dream making a Star Wars game doesn't surprise me, but I also refuse to support this. It's one of those studios that I refuse to support, and you shouldn't either. Especially, and their games just kind of suck. There are much better games that are doing what David Cage is trying to do. At least, presumably. I only ever played up to Chapter 2 of Life is Strange. So, I'm assuming it ends... From what I heard, it ended on a high note, and I think people like True Colors, which is the new Life is Strange game. And I didn't hear anybody talk about Life is Strange 2. I heard some good things about Tell Me Why. Do I dare say that Minecraft Story Mode or any of the other Telltale games are better than David Cage games? Nah, I wouldn't go that far. The idea of Quantic Dream making a Star Wars game, nah, fuck them. Fuck Quantic Dream, you know. So yeah, I guess that's that story. Next up, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct, shall we? So, I have no idea what's going on here. Looked away for a second. So, when talking about... So, I rewatched the Nintendo Direct. When I say rewatched, I watched, like, some other people, like, commentary on the Nintendo Direct, like... Who did I watch? I watched... was it Good Vibe Gaming's? I think I also saw some of Arlo's. Right, but I didn't actually just rewatch the thing, but, you know, I'm curious to see how other people take some of these announcements. Curious to see some of the reactions. Other people's reactions to the Mario Brothers movie were completely different than mine. And we will talk about that. I'm actually going to save the Mario Brothers movie for the end, and I'm literally giving it its own segment. Because I have some fucking thoughts, and in my viewpoint, from everything I've seen today, they exist within the contrarian. I could totally be wrong about that, and there might be other people who agree with me, but, like, I have seen some hot takes, and I have seen some bad takes as well. Like, I've seen some seriously bad takes, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, I'm not talking about everything that happened in the Nintendo Direct. If you want, just go watch it for yourself. But just like as a brief opening, I was not too positive. Oh, shit. I was not personally too positive on this Nintendo Direct. I wanted to like it, and I have warmed up to it a little bit more since yesterday, but I'm not overall too positive on it. Like, I don't think this Nintendo Direct... Like, I've seen a lot of people rate this Nintendo Direct very highly. Nah. I can't believe I'm the Greg Miller in this. I just don't care about it. I just don't care about this Nintendo Direct. Maybe it's just not for me. Because, again, I don't care about some of these games. Bayonetta 3, I don't care for Bayonetta. I tried the first one. I played, I don't know, a few hours of it. It just wasn't for me. I've played some other games. I didn't play Octopath Traveler, so Project Triangle Strategy didn't really appeal to me. They're doing a, What else were they doing? Oh, nice. Free 2 balls. Or 2 free balls. I don't know. I guess just the announcements in this game just really weren't for me. And the one, like, big announcement that totally appeals to me, I just kind of didn't care about. Because there's a part of me that just doesn't think it looks as good as I want it to. Like, on one hand, I think it looks fine. But on the other hand, I'm just kind of disappointed by it. Like, I guess maybe part of me expected more? Is that sounds weird to say. Like, I want more from a Kirby game. But I guess I kind of do want more from a Kirby game. I don't know, man. I like Kirby. I was listening. Who was it? Arlo? Who was like, oh, so Arlo does not like 2D platformers. I mean, I think he might like them as a game, like games, but I've been listening to his stuff recently, and he really keeps going on about how 2D platformers are not that they're bad games, but he keeps talking about, like, money, and how, like, since 2D platformers don't sell as well, the game industry should be making less 2D platformers, which is a take I 1000% disagree with. Like, wholeheartedly, I think that's just a terrible take, and he just keeps bringing it up. Which is, ugh. And again, I like Arlo. I know a lot of people really hate his stuff because they got tired of him talking about Pikmin every 2 minutes. But I like Arlo. I think he does some good stuff. But yeah, no, I love 2D platformers, but I think... And Planet Robobot is the best Kirby game. No questions. It seriously is amazing. Of course, he's never played it. But Planet Robobot is genuinely a fantastic game. And after that, I kind of feel like they've done everything they can do with 2D Kirby games. At least, especially after Star Allies. Yeah, we kind of don't need a new 2D Kirby game. So I'm fine with them doing something a little different. I'm actually happy they're doing something different. Because, yeah, we've kind of done everything... That, I mean, not, like, I'm sure there's more stuff that can be done with 2D Kirby, but nothing that needs to be done, at least, if you know what I mean. Like, we're good when it comes to 2D Kirby. So them trying something different with 3D, because Kirby games have done some interesting experiments in the past. Kirby and the Amazing Mirror is an open-world 2D platformer. Nobody talks about it, but yeah, that's Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. And that was a game on the Game Boy Advance. And yeah, it took a huge risk back then. And it tried something different. How great is Kirby and the Amazing Mirror? I mean, I like it. I haven't played it. I haven't played it in years, obviously. And I remember kind of being confused at first because it's an open world Kirby game. Or an open world 2D platformer. And there is talk like, hey, is this new Kirby game open world? Who knows? How did I... You know, I was going to talk about everything in order, and now we're just talking about Kirby. So, I guess let's just get to the order. We'll get back to Kirby. First off, they showed off Monster Hunter Rise. One day, I will play Monster Hunter Rise. I want to play a Monster Hunter game. Definitely. Because I hear nothing but good things about them. And from, like, even people, like, I know, like, I trust to talk about games, like, they really got into Monster Hunter Rise. So, like, I have faith that I would probably really enjoy it. I just need to actually play it, but I don't know. Monster Hunter is one of the things I hate in games, and this is my problem with Fire Emblem games, is that I hate, like, spending an hour in a game doing something, and then, like, one mistake makes you restart the entire level or whatever. That's why I don't like games like Fire Emblem or XCOM, because one mistake and you literally have to redo like an hour of gameplay, an entire level. And that's just not the type of game I'm interested in personally. Like, that doesn't really appeal to me. I want... Right, I like and you may say, well, oh, what about roguelikes? I like those, but I like roguelikes. lights, L-I-T-E, not rogue likes, L-I-K-E. The difference is that in roguelites, every run, you're making a little bit more product towards the end goal. That's not how it roguelikes, on the other hand. No, that's not how it works. So I like roguelites, like Hades, like Dead Cells, and I don't care for roguelites, like Binding of Isaac or Gungeon. I mean, I enjoy Binding of Isaac and Gungeon, but definitely not as much as some of these other games. As Dead Cells or Hades. So yeah, because yeah, I've heard that about like Monster Hunter Rise, where you'll spend like an hour fighting a monster, and then it'll just like run away, and you have to redo the entire fight again. And that sounds like a nightmare to me. Maybe that might also have something to do with why I struggle so much with JRPGs. Because, like, there is that element of, like, grinding where you spend, like, hours for, like, just to do a single boss fight. Of course, has that changed the fact that I've been grinding for the past week on Cookie Clicker? No, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Because, oh boy, do I have a rant about that. But yeah, one day I'll play a Monster Hunter game. And it probably will be Monster Hunter Rise. Because I've heard nothing but good things about it. Oh, that was a terrible shot. Next up, Mario Party. I'm disappointed at the number of boards. That hasn't changed. I still think that 5 boards is too small. I really wish they had gone with I really wish they had just like taken the original 7 boards, one from each of the original Mario parties, or something along those lines. I know the boards they chose are good boards. Like, from what I have, like, I haven't played the original Mario parties in a long time. Especially the original 3. Most of my Mario Party experience is on either the GameCube or the Wii. Specifically Mario Parties 8 and I think 6? Maybe 7, but probably 6. That's where most of my Mario Party experience comes from. I don't really... Like, the original 3, I haven't put that much time into. But, like, the board selection seems to be pretty good from what I've been told. And they seem to be doing a pretty good job. And ND Cube knows how to... They're remaking all of this stuff, of course. But hopefully this leads to, like, good, better future Mario Party games. Even some better original ones. Because, after playing, like, some of these other Mario Parties... And having played Super Mario Party... Don't own it, but I played it at a friend's place way back in the day. ND Cube, in theory, like, I've shit on ND Cube for years now, saying that they don't know how to make a Mario Party game, and that's true. But they know how to make good mini-games. They have some interesting ideas. They've played around with some concepts I do like. Hopefully, them remastering some of the original Mario parties will, like, get them on the track of, like, oh, this is what people like about Mario Party. And then they'll hopefully make a good one. Because they know how to make mini-games. So all they have to do is figure out how to make good boards. And I really do think they could get it. Because that's, even like back in Wii Party, that was their biggest weakness, was the boards. I mean, some of them were fine, but others of them just kind of sucked. And of course, having this Mario Party Online is also huge. Like, I'm not going to pass that up. How much will I play Mario Party Online? I don't know, but in theory, it seems cool. And, it's going to be nice to play it with friends and whatnot. Well, I think the bigger reason I say, like, how much will I actually play it online is more about Nintendo's online services, because, they're still Garbo. Like, that hasn't changed at all. It really hasn't, so... I don't know, that hesitation still exists. But I'm still probably gonna pick up the new Mario Party. And I only say probably because now that I have a PS5 to support, all those games are gonna cost money, and at some point, like, I'm gonna want... And, like, Metroid Dread comes out that same month. I know I have only bought, like, 2 games in the past, like, let's see, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. In the past 7 months, I have bought, like, 3 indie games. So, like, I haven't bought a single AAA game. So, like, in theory, I have some money. Well, okay, I spent money on PS5. But, like, I got that console to support now, and it's like, oh, I gotta buy Spider-Man. That's $50. It was on sale just, a few weeks ago as well. And God, I wish I'd bought it then, but I didn't. Ah, that was a terrible shot. But yeah, I got a PS... So, like, how many of these games will I actually buy? I don't know. I'm definitely buying Metroid Dread. The second I get my Switch, I'm buying Metroid Dread. But other than that... Like, how many of these games am I actually going to buy? Well, I mean, I'm probably also going to buy Pokemon, but I'm a slave to Pokemon, the Pokemon brand, after all. Nothing about that has changed. But, yeah, how many... because that's another worry now. Because, I mean, and I've got... God, I mean, I still have to beat the first Horizon. For Zero Dawn. Yeah, never beat it. But I know I like it. I just actually need to find time to play it. Because I liked what I played. It's just, you know, we were always so busy. Oh, shoot. I don't know how to get that one. I mean, I know I go in right there. Okay, good. That takes... Ooh. Okay, we've got 1 peg. There we go. Let's see. Next up, Disco Elysium is coming to Switch. Disco Elysium is a game I own on PlayStation. Because I was waiting for it to come to Switch. I knew it was on PlayStation, but I was waiting for it to come to Switch. And then at some point earlier this year, and I don't remember when it was. I think it was back in June. I remembered, like, oh, wait, I have a PlayStation. I can just play Disco Elysium on that. Like, I don't have to wait for every game to come to Switch anymore. That just, like, I kind of remembered that at some point. So it was like, yeah, I can just play. There's nothing stopping me from just playing Disco Elysium. But, of course, I haven't played it because Disco Elysium is a real time sink. Like, it's a long game with a lot to do in it, which is great, but that means it's going to take more time to actually, you know, get to. But I'll get to it one of these days. And I'm sure again, it's one of those games that I've told I will love the hell out of. It's not for Disco Elysium is not for everyone, but I know I'll enjoy it. So yeah, that's cool. It's coming to Switch, and I'm pretty sure it's Disco Elysium, the final cut, which includes voice acting and all that. So that's a neat thing. I guess if you're down for that. We're gonna fail this one. Probably. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That red one down there, I hadn't even noticed. We're totally gonna fail this one. Yeah. Let's see. Next up, Hyrule Warriors DLC. I was in the middle of playing Hyrule Warriors when my Switch broke. I never finished it because of that. But I'd love to actually, like, play it one of these days. Ooh, that was a bad shot. That was a terrible shot. And I can't... Yeah, no. I mean, I guess in theory I could have totally banked it off the left wall. But yeah. So that was our first failed level. It was bound to happen eventually. But yeah, let's see. Hyrule Warriors, yeah. I haven't beat the game, but I just kind of figured that what's her name? I know Robbie's the guy. I don't remember the girl's name. I kind of figured that they were characters you would just unlock at some point. So I'm surprised that they're the final DLC characters. And from what it looks like anyways, I guess spoiler alert, it looks like the DLC has you fighting the evil monster Calamity Ganon from the end of Breath of the Wild. At least that's what it looks like to me anyways. And again, I never beat Hyrule Warrior, so I don't know how it ends. I don't know, like, I guess spoiler alert, I don't know if it ends with you fighting Calamity Ganon. It would make sense if it does, but I don't honestly know, because I never beat it. So that's a whole query in and of itself. Oh, thank God I got a free ball there. That was a terrible shot. So yeah, I don't know. So I guess I'll find that out at some point. What else? Yeah, do I have anything else to say? I gotta beat Hyrule Warriors. I was actually really liking it. From what I had played of it, like, I don't know. I was never really down on the Dynasty Warrior style of game. But I actually did really like Hyrule Warriors. Oh, gosh, dang it. Okay, okay, I think we have this. But yeah, I don't know. I'll play it one day. So they announced that the final Smash Brothers character will be coming out, or they'll be revealing him, and Sakurai will do his whole presentation on October 5th. It's kind of weird that they didn't, like, October 5th is like a week away. 2 weeks, I guess. So it's kind of weird that, like, they're not just, like, revealing the character now, that Sakurai's waiting until the last presentation. On one hand, that's kind of weird. But again, you know, if Sakurai wants to make it something special, I'm just down for that. Who will the last character be? Well, I have my speculations, of course. I'm still personally rooting for Doomguy. I know that's not going to happen, and I can tell you why it's not going to happen. Because as we found out with, I think, was it, as, you know, was kind of revealed recently, in, I think it's Japan, you cannot put the title of an M-rated game in a non-M-rated game without increasing that game's rating. So, like, you can't put, for example, Devil May Cry in Smash Bros. Because that would raise the game's age rating to mature, or whatever the rating is. That's just how it works in Japan, I guess. So, that's why they say Dante, or why they say, there were some other, I think Volt Boy, they just call Volt Boy instead of, from Fallout. Because they can't use those words because, you know, those are mature games. And I think that's where this is, in theory, coming from. That, like, oh, well, you can't do Doomguy because you can't use Doom. Because that's M for mature, and, right? Like, you just couldn't do that in Smash Bros. Okay, I have to hope that this hits. Oh, yeah, there we go. But yeah, it'd be cool. I think Master Chief, though, that I know that's also M for mature, but they might be able to get. And now I think Bayonetta is M for mature, but I think so, anyways. So maybe it's T for teen. I don't remember. But they might be able to find a way to get away with it. I don't know, but I still root for Doomguy. I'd be fine with Master Chief. You know, he's a fine character, sure. I'd be fine with... Oh my god, that was fucking terrible. I screwed up there by where my entry point was. I really want to hit that green peg. Oh my gosh, just a bunch of terrible shots. But yeah, so that, Crash Bandicoot, I know we're, right, fuck Activision Blizzard. I could still see Crash Bandicoot making it in. Even without it, I still think Crash Bandicoot has a pretty decent chance. The other rumored one is Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden, because, Koei Tecmo, right? Nintendo has a pretty good relation, right? Like, all of Nintendo's, like, partners have characters in Smash Bros. Except for Koei Tecmo, that does Ninja Gaiden. So Ryu Hayabusa being the last character makes sense. I personally think I don't want Ryu Hayabusa. Like, if he had been in the default game, like, if Ryu Hayabusa had been in, like, the default game as, like, the OG character pick, kind of like Duck Hunt Dog, or, Game & Watch, or Ice Climbers, I'd be cool with that. Right? He would make sense as, like, the OG character pick. But as, like, the last DLC character, that's way less interesting. And of course, it could also be a total surprise. I mean, do they do Waluigi? I kind of doubt it. I know a lot of people were disappointed by Byleth, but to be fair, we had a whole other season pass. So, but, like, people always want it to, like, end on a big thing. So that's what people kind of hope for. I don't know. You know, whatever it takes. I mean, I already bought the Fighter's Pass. I've already got plenty of joy out of it, so whatever they do, I'm fine with. Ooh. I'm still addicted to Smash Bros. I wonder, the other thing I do wonder, though, if he's going to talk, how long are they going to add new spirits to the game? Because so far, we've been getting a pretty consistent run of spirits, but eventually that has to theoretically come to an end. I mean, I feel like spirits would be a lot easier to, like if they were like, oh, we're going to add spirits for another, like, 10 years. That's totally something they could do, and something they could do without Sakurai. So, like, the idea of adding in, like, years of spirits, okay. As long as they update the game so that way the spirits are actually, like, gettable if you miss the event. Because right now, if you miss a spirit event, you have to wait until, like, the next DLC fighter comes out. So, maybe fix that? I don't know. But it's gonna be sad to see Smash Bros. End. Normally I would stream it, but I will be busy. I'm in class during then, so yeah, that's a no-go for me, boss. Oh, that second green peg is terrible placement. Let's see. Next up, oh, Kirby. This is when they talked about Kirby. So yeah, so my problem with Kirby is, in theory, I'm totally down for them doing something new with Kirby. A Kirby 3D platformer, sure. The Return to Dreamland formula has been used for 4 games now, and by the 4th, it was stale. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm one of the people who enjoy, Star Allies. But I'm one of the few people who does. I'm more of the exception rather than the rule on that one. At least from what I can tell. So, them breaking away and doing something different with Kirby is good. The whole taking place in a post-apocalypse, I mean, yes, so this was the game that was leaked, obviously. Like, when I found out a game leaked, even before, because I didn't actually see the leak, but when I had heard that a game was leaked, I was like, it's Kirby, isn't it? Like, even before I had seen anything, before I'd even seen the direct. Oh, shoot, I didn't realize we were already out. I had already guessed it was Kirby, because Kirby just... I don't know, it's a big game, but it's also not so big that it's beyond, like, Kirby leaking just kind of makes sense, you know? But on some aspects, I'm like, no, this looks pretty good. The idea of a 3D platformer Kirby, this has some great potential. But on the other hand, I think the game kind of looks... I know bland is harsh, but it feels empty. Now, I've already seen people joke and compare this to The Last of Us, right? That this is The Last of Us Kirby. And there are some things that I'm actually happy with that I didn't bring up yesterday. such as I like that this one is bringing in new enemies. Some of those new enemy designs, pretty neat. I actually really like the idea of bringing in new Kirby enemies. It's been, I mean, I'm sure like a lot of the newer games have some new enemies, but it also feels like it's been a long time since we've gotten some new Kirby enemies. So having some new ones like those weird wolf things, yeah, no, I'm down for new Kirby enemies. Sounds good to me. But yeah, like you look at the environments and like I think visually the game looks really nice. And the environments have some good detail to them, but they also just kind of feel empty. And hopefully I'm not the only one who feels this way. I know I'm not. I've seen at least one other streamer who said like the game just kind of looks empty. Which I think that's my big problem, is that it just kind of looks like, I don't know, like, how do you make the game, it's a post-apocalypse Kirby. How do you make the game feel more alive? Because you're in the post-apocalypse. I mean, everything's dead, right? I totally messed up that green peg right there. There's only so much you can realistically do with post-apocalypse Kirby. But at the same time, I think there's more you can do than what they're doing here. Because I think, like, Planet Robobot did, like, a Kirby game where the world is completely, like, metal. But yet that game had, like, so much charm to it. And there was, like, and, like, you slowly saw the world become metal. And it was just a very clever, well-made game. Best game in the Kirby series, easily. And it's just, like, compared to Planet Robobot, this just kind of looks blandish. I mean, gameplay-wise, it'll probably be pretty fun. It definitely feels more like an action game, like a Skylanders than a platformer, which is what Kirby is. Now, of course, Kirby games are also notoriously easy as hell, which is something I like about them. One of the things I love about Kirby is how easy they are. Of course, I know some people hate that, which, you know, maybe Kirby just isn't for you. God damn, that was 2 bads in a row. But yeah, I love me some easy Kirby game. And, of course, Kirby also has things like the True Arena that is genuinely difficult. Like, the True Arena in Kirby games get fucking hard. Especially the one... I mean, I know Star Allies had some cheat strats that, like, where you could just, like, cheap out the bosses. But still, Star Allies had a pretty hard... And, like, it really went there. Especially with the DLC True Arena. But yeah, I'm gonna buy this regardless, because again, I like Kirby. I didn't always like Kirby, even though I had Squeak Squad. I didn't always like Kirby. The Kirby game I liked was or the first Kirby game I really got into was what's that one called? Triple Deluxe. Yeah, I had played Return to Dream, or did I play Return to Dreamland before then? I might have, but I didn't really get into it. But Triple Deluxe was the game that impressed me. I thoroughly enjoyed Triple Deluxe. Such a good game. The Lobster, so Peggle for a second. The Lobster is the worst character. Just like the design's ugly, but like I also just don't care for the power up at all. The flippers. Yeah, Lobster is the worst character. Let's move on. I mean, I'm sure there's more to say about Kirby, but I'm kind of all over the place tonight, admittedly. Okay, so this is something that pissed me off. So they're doing Animal Crossing update. But instead of announcing the Animal Crossing update, and you know, the big direct that everyone's watching, oh no, we're gonna save this until next month, where we're gonna do an actual Animal Crossing direct, but oh, that content from that Animal Crossing direct, that ain't coming out until November, which admittedly we knew was coming because the last update in, what was that, June, added in the Halloween stuff. So we knew the game was not going to be updated until after Halloween. But god damn it, fuck. Like, I've committed more time to Animal Crossing than Probably not. No, okay. I have not committed the most time to Animal Crossing. Over the extended period of time, I have considered a considerable amount of days to Animal Crossing. Like, there are people who have played, like, thousands of hours more than me, but I don't know anyone who played 500 days in a row like I did. I'm sure there is statistically someone, especially someone who's like not doing any videos or Let's Plays on it or anything like that. Just some kid who plays Animal Crossing every day. Yeah, I'm sure they statistically exist. But as someone who put a lot of time into Animal Crossing, it's a game, like, Animal Crossing became very popular because it came out right when the pandemic started, and so everyone could play it, and everyone got access to it, and, right, because we didn't have anything better to do than play Animal Crossing. But then it got fucked by the pandemic, because it was clearly a game that was supposed to have a bunch of updates, but because the pandemic stopped people from working, they couldn't get any of those major updates out. They got a few out. They got the holidays out, which, like, if they hadn't got the holidays out, they would be completely fucked. But they were able to get the holidays out, and they were able to get, like, a few other, like the things like diving. Diving was done before the game had even released. They just waited a little bit to release it. Like, but Animal Crossing just got completely screwed by the pandemic. And that sucks, because it had a lot of potential. Gosh dang it. Yeah, no, Animal Crossing could have been great. It really did have all the potential to be huge. And of course, I know people are like, oh, it's a bad game, Nintendo finished it later. Or it's one of those, like, Nintendo release now, finish it later games. I don't agree with that, personally. I think the game is finished. The finished product is just kind of underwhelming. Which is something people do not want to hear. They would rather assume Nintendo just put out a lazy game than Nintendo put out a bad game. Which, I know those sound similar, but they aren't for most people anyways. It's stupid. But yeah, this is just dumb. Like, waiting another month for a direct, it's probably going to be a month, and then not having that update until, usually Animal Crossing updates are late in the month. So not having an update until late November sounds terrible. The Animal Crossing just got fucked. It could have been huge. It could have been one of the biggest games, and yeah, nobody talks about it anymore, and for good reason. Like, they have completely valid reasons. There's nothing to do in the game anymore. I've done everything. Okay, technically I haven't done everything, because some of those achievements are complete bullshit, and the way that the game handles the paintings is just dumb. I know there are people who have completed their painting museums, and I know you're supposed to trade. Like, that's the big thing, is you're supposed to trade to get all the paintings. But after a while, like, there's just no point. Like, everyone stopped playing, so... Okay, not everyone, but you know what I mean. Everyone just moved on from Animal Crossing, and rightfully so. They had no reason to stay. I don't know why I could have quit in September, and I wanted to, and I didn't, and I kept playing for another... God, 6 months? 7 months, whatever, however long I kept playing, and I tried to quit again, and I almost quit again in January, and then I did that stupid WandaVision thing that kept me around for another, until March, when I finally ended it, and then I played another 200 days after that somehow. Admittedly, once I stopped streaming it, it became a lot easier to play every day. I had to stop, once I got to stop making content for the game, and just got to, like, oh, well, I'm gonna check on the museum. Oh, here's what Jolly Red's selling today, when he actually shows up. Oh, hey, I can finish all the music. Actually, I think I finished the music before I beat the game. But still, like, it definitely went a lot better once I stopped giving a shit, and once I stopped streaming it. Ooh. Hey, I slap. How you doing? We're talking Nintendo Direct right now. And I'm totally down to, like, if this update comes out and it has a bunch of new stuff, I'll totally play the update again. But I kind of don't expect it to. Next up, Mario Golf got an update. Okay, so Mario Golf is another one of those games that kind of just released and nobody, right? It didn't have that much content, but Nintendo's been trying to put out more content since then. And to be fair, this update adds 2 new characters and 2 new golf courses. That's a pretty big update, technically speaking, because, I mean, that's like I think there's only like 6 courses in the game, if I remember correctly. It might be more than that, but it's definitely like a small number. Of course, if I didn't know Nintendo better, I would say they would announce that, like, hey, this is the final update to Mario Golf. There's realistically, knowing Nintendo the way I know Nintendo, there is 1 update left. They're going to do 1 more update, and then they're going to be like, yep, that's it for Mario Golf. We hope you all enjoyed. I hope you all enjoyed these 2 updates. Because that's how Nintendo works. Like, honestly, that's what they did with tennis, and tennis got even less content. But that already came out, which is cool. So, I haven't played it because, again, I don't really have a Switch. I just remembered, I said I didn't buy games for like 7 months. I did buy Mario Golf. I just remembered that. Yeah, I did do that, didn't I? Okay, I gotta get this one over here. There we go. Next up, what the heck does this say? Metronidazole? What? My autocorrect corrected Metroid to Metronidazole. I don't know what the hell that is. Dread. So we got a new trailer for Metroid Dread. As I have said in the past, I've seen everything I need to see on Metroid Dread. I'm good. I'm sold on the game. This new trailer didn't show off, like, anything we hadn't seen already. Like, especially, like, I'm specifically talking about, like, the Kraid stuff. I'm pretty sure we have seen all this Kraid stuff, like the Kraid stuff and the weird Chozo statue thing with the Samus Blaster. Like, that was in the last big trailer. So, yeah, I don't think we had anything, like, big new in this one. Just more Metroid and... yeah, it looks like a great game. It's a month away, October 8th, which I'll hopefully get a new Switch. I would love for it to come in on October 8th, but according to, I bought the Switch OLED at Target, and according to them, my Switch isn't coming in until the 10th. So I'll probably have to wait just a wee bit longer on that one, which sucks. Because I would love to I might have streamed it. I mean, I streamed Metroid 1. I streamed Super Metroid. I streamed Metroid Fusion. I could have... I didn't do Metroid 2, obviously, and if they had done Nintendo Switch Online Metroid 2, we might have streamed it. If they had done Game Boy, whatevers, I might have done it. I need to play the 3DS game, Samus Returns. I own it, but I've never played it. So I need to do that at some point. And I can't stream 3DS, obviously. But yeah, we streamed a bunch of... I did a year of Metroid back in the day. It was a fun year, even though we got interrupted halfway through. But yeah, Metroid Dread still looks good. Of course, I'm going to pick it up. Next up, N64 and Genesis games. So, right, so there was all this speculation like, hey, they're going to announce Game Boy games. And then there was a bunch of speculation that they were going to announce N64 games. And which one was it going to be? Nobody knows. Turns out it was N64, which I have no problem with. My problem is the games announced, which let me pull up the list real quick of N64 games. So the N64 games on launch day. So the games available on the day the system... Oh, that was a terrible shot. The games available on launch day are Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Yoshi's Story, Zelda Ocarina of Time, Winback Covert Operations, Mario Tennis, Dr. Mario 64, and Sin and Punishment. Now, from what I've heard, Sin and Punishment is actually like one of those like underrated classics. Like it's one of those hidden gems that people, like, more and more people realize is good. So I guess that's a neat thing, which, you know, the NES Online has done that before, specifically with, was it Fire and Ice? Fire and Ice is considered a hidden gem, and that got time to shine on NES Online. But, like, that's like one of the few exceptions. And, again, Earthbound still isn't on NES Online for some stupid fucking reason. Why? Who knows? Who fucking... And of... Oh, God, look at that. And, of course, if they had done Game Boy, would Pokemon have been there? Probably not. I need a drink. But yeah, and now some of this has potential. Like being able to play Mario 64, Mario Tennis, and Dr. Mario 64 online with friends sounds really fun. That's a really cool idea in theory. But it's just... I don't know, that's just not much to go on. Like, really. Those are the 4 games... Those are the, what, 9 games? There are more. I'm trying to pull up that list. Do I have that list? They did announce other games, though, are coming to N64 Online. Of course, all of these games should be here day one. And this is one of the big problems with Nintendo Switch Online, is they don't put out... Like, this should just work like Game Pass, where you have all these games. I know Game Pass does add games, like, every month or so. But, like, Game Pass didn't launch with, like, 10 games, did it? No, it launched with a bunch. Of course, it's grown a lot bigger since then. But even still... It's just... This is totally a Nintendo move. This is a WND, a weird Nintendo decision, because for some reason they believe, which they might have evidence to back this up, like, but as far as they believe, it's that classic games compete with new games. So, like, if you're gonna put out Ocarina of Time, or, you know what, let's use Mario Party. Like, if they were to put Mario Party 1 out on NES Online, or on this N64 Online, it would be competing with the new Mario Party. Right? The Mario Party Superstar. So they don't want to do that because the games will compete with one another. Or even, and it's even less directly than that. Like, they think that, oh, if we put out Ocarina of Time, that's going to compete with, I don't know, fucking Pokemon. Because that's how Nintendo makes their weird Nintendo decisions. And this is something they believe. At least it feels like it is anyways. And again, if they have data to back this up, then I'd love to see it. I'd love for them to, like, justify this. But right now, it's just Nintendo being stupid fucking Nintendo. You know, the guy who sticks a gun down his pants to demonstrate gun safety and then shoots himself in the nuts. That's what this is. Gosh dang it. It's just stupid. That's what I'll say. It's just stupid. But yeah, they're of course adding more games. Majora's Mask will be coming out. F-Zero, which is another, in theory, cool game to get online. That's cool. Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, no, Banjo, of course Banjo is a playable character in Smash. You want to get Banjo-Kazooie on Switch. That makes perfect sense. And I think, well, I've always been personally rooting for the Rare Replay to come to Switch, because it totally could. You know, I'll take this, and especially if they get the second one, and hopefully they'll get other Microsoft games. I would love to see Perfect Dark. I think Perfect Dark would be a great game to get on here. GoldenEye, of course. GoldenEye with multiplayer? Oh, people would love that. You know, that would be huge. With online? Because, of course, GoldenEye doesn't hold up. I mean, I did... Who was it, Donkey, who said that GoldenEye is actually good if you play it with a keyboard? But, you know, I've never done that before, so I wouldn't know. GoldenEye doesn't hold up, though. But, you know, the nostalgia's enough to sell people on it. So, yeah, if Nintendo, Microsoft, and... I don't remember. Who owns GoldenEye? What studio owns James Bond? I don't know. But if they could all work out a deal to get GoldenEye back, that would be huge. I know there was that GoldenEye remake, which again, for some reason, I remember that GoldenEye remake happening with just the permission of Nintendo. And then it came out that no, Nintendo didn't actually give them permission, which is why it got scrapped, and then it got leaked, like, last year. Which, yeah, that's a real thing that happened. That some guy called Nintendo and was like, hey, can we remake GoldenEye? And the guy he called said, yeah, sure you can. So they started the remake, finished the remake, and then they were like, hey, Nintendo, we finished this remake. Thanks for letting us do it. And Nintendo was like, what? No, we never let you do that. And Nintendo wouldn't let them do it, even though the game was done, so they had to scrap the project. It's a true fact, Wikipedia it. Yeah, but yeah, GoldenEye would be a cool get. But the other thing is they got Genesis games. They got Sega Genesis, which the Wii had Sega Genesis games, and the Wii had TurboGrafx 16. I think the Wii also had Game Gear. It was just kind of one of those cool things. And having these games on, like, this Nintendo Virtual Console, in some ways, this kind of interests me more than N64 games. In a weird way, not because I want to, like, play them or anything. It's like, I don't need to play Sonic 2 again. Like, really? But I think this is interesting, nevertheless. I think this is a cool thing to have, and as long as they keep adding new... part of me wishes Sega would just one-up Nintendo and be like, hey, every Sega game we can legally get access to is on here. Like, if they had gotten all the Sonic games. But so far, the games on it are Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcore, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, which is a game I had the from the PlayStation 2 collection. Oh, I used to play that in Sonic Spinball all the time. Echo the Dolphin, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, Phantasy Star 4, Rystar, Shining Force, Shinobi 3, Sonic 2, Streets of Rage, and Strider? Looks like a U, but I think it's Strider. On the box art anyways. It's weird that they don't have the first Sonic, but they have Sonic 2. I mean, Sonic 2 is most definitely the better game. It's just kind of weird. Oh, I forgot. For a second there, I completely forgot about the stupid balls. Oh my gosh, these things are screwing me over. Yeah, they keep sending me back to the middle. Yeah, look at that. I just keep drifting towards the middle, which I've already fully cleared out. Yeah, oh my gosh. We're not making it through this one. Even though that was a great last peg, I just wasted so many shots on the other side there. But yeah, so those are, in theory, this stuff is really cool. The problem is Nintendo's just going to make their weird Nintendo decisions and fuck this all up. Because that's how Nintendo works. They make weird and stupid decisions that, like, screw over your average consumer. And it really sucks. It really sucks that Nintendo is just so... Like, admittedly, they're not as bad as, like, PlayStation when it comes to legacy content. Because PlayStation does not give a fuck about their legacy content. But, like, Microsoft is actually, like, pretty good when it comes to legacy content. And it's kind of sad that Microsoft, of all these companies, is the best at it. Because they have the least interesting legacy content. Yeah, they have Rare's entire library. Yeah, they have the first few Halos. But those are small beans compared to everything Sony and Nintendo has. Like, seriously? Yeah. But hey, it's cool to get some Genesis stuff on there. That's just neat. It's just neat. It's the potato. I just find it neat. And then they're also so as part of this, to get these games, they're not just adding it to the collection, they increase the price. So if you want N64 games, if you want Genesis games, you now have to pay an additional price. How much is that price? Well, as of this moment, we don't know. They didn't actually say how much more it's going to be. If I had to guess, I think that an average Nintendo Online subscription is $20 a year, maybe $25 a year. I'm going to look that up right now. If I had to guess, they would increase that and the average year price by $5. Maybe $10 at the most. Online Nintendo Online subscription. It costs $20 for a year. So increasing it to $25 I think would be the best way, but they're probably going to increase it to $30. Part of the reason they'd increase it is because of Genesis games. Like, Sega's not just letting them add Genesis games. They need to pay a licensing fee probably. And I bet that's part of the price increase. But you know, it's also part that Nintendo holds N64 games in a higher regard, and as a result, they feel like they can charge more money for them. That's just the plain facts. That's how Nintendo's treated N64 games forever now. So it doesn't. So I was hoping we weren't going to get a price increase, but it also doesn't surprise me that we did. This is just how Nintendo rolls sometimes, because this is what they like to do. Will I probably buy it? Probably. Maybe not at launch. But, like, if in, like, a while... I don't know. Part of me is like, oh, it'd be cool to play some of these games again. But on the other hand, I could just play, like, the 3DS versions of Ocarina, Majora, and Star Fox, which I think are... The Ocarina and Majora versions of those games are definitely superior to their N64 counterparts. They just, like, some of the changes they make to Ocarina and Majora... I know a lot of people disagree with Majora. A lot of people really hate the Majora's Mask remake. It's fine. The Majora's Mask remake is fine. A lot of people give it way more shit than it deserves. Lucky shot for a thing that didn't really matter. Yeah, no, people give the N64 remake or the 3DS remake of Majora a lot of shit that it does not deserve. Yeah, the swimming mechanics were a little bit worse. And Majora's Mask, the N64 version, has some of the best swimming in a video game. Yes, those statements are true. I still don't think it deserves all the hate it gets. Not at all. It's a pretty damn fine remake, if you ask me. But yeah, and then they announced that they're doing N64 and N64 and Genesis controllers. We knew we were getting a controller, but hey, surprise, surprise, we're getting two actually. That's cool, I guess. Two. I didn't pick up the NES ones. I didn't pick up the Super Nintendo ones, and you better believe I'm not picking up these. These just. I don't like the N64 controller to begin with. I already have a Sega Genesis controller that I can, like, plug in and use. I don't need a new controller. Nah, I'm good. Let's see, next up on the docket. Deltarune Chapter 2 got announced coming to Switch. I figured this was going to happen eventually. I just didn't think it was going to happen so soon. I thought we still had a few months until this happened. Because Deltarune only launched like 3 days ago. But nope, it's here now, so that's cool. I streamed like the first like 2 or 3 hours of the original Deltarune, but I haven't touched it since, and I don't know. It was good. And then I've already heard nightmares of people streaming Chapter 2 and being told they're playing the game wrong. Which is like, that's one of the things Undertale is infamous for, is that people will watch someone's Let's Play. You know, and the reason people should watch Let's Plays is to get different perspectives on the games they love. That's why Minecraft is such a widely Let's Played game, because everyone plays it differently. But when it comes to Undertale fans believe that the way you play the game right? That their way of playing the game is the only correct way to play, and they hate you if you don't play it the way they want you to play it. Undertale fans, for such a great game, Undertale fans fucking suck. It's just the truth. It's one of those it's one of those ultimate truths. Anything that preaches love is filled with people that hate. Undertale is no different than, I don't know, Christianity. Bam. Right in the fucking head. Yeah, but I still love Undertale. Luckily, I'm a small enough channel that when I when I Let's Played Undertale, nobody gave a shit. So I could do whatever I want. And then I never did the genocide run because I just wasn't having fun, and that's kind of the whole point. Is that if you're not if the game's not fun, why play? You know? I think at this point they talked about the Mario Brothers movie, but we're going to save that for its own. I have that as its own topic, so, because I have some hot takes on that. So we'll save that for a little bit. Next up, they talked about Splatoon 3. Yeah, sure, like some of the, like the grappling hook weapon, that's kind of neat. The crab robot still looks fun, way bigger than I thought it was going to be. I don't think they've showed off any, like, new weapon. Because I don't think that crab's a new weapon. I think that's a special. And they showed off a few other specials as well. Like, I don't think they showed off, like, a new, like, you know, the original, Splatoon had all of its weapons. And then Splatoon 2 added in, it added in dualies, but I think it also added umbrellas. I think umbrellas were it actually added 3 new weapons, actually, now that I think about it. Umbrellas were one of them, I know that. I know dualies were one for sure. Dualies was in the reveal trailer. I think Brella is the other one. And then wasn't Squeegee the third? Because, yeah, Squeegee is technically its own weapon. Even though it's not, like, much different than some of the other ones. It technically is, like, classified as its own thing. Or something along those lines, anyways. I don't know. So I don't think we got any new weapon, which kind of sucks. Like, that would have, like, because I think the problem with the Splatoon trailer, and again, I'm probably going to buy Splatoon 3, but my problem right now with Splatoon 3 is that I feel like all the trailers are just showing stuff like we already know. Like, yeah, they're showing new weapons and whatnot, but I want to know, like, new, like, right? I want to see, like, some of, like, what crazy new weapons are they bringing in? Not just, like, abilities, but, like, how else do you change the core gameplay? Like, are we getting new, like, what new turf, like, ranked mode are we getting? Because the default Splatoon had 3. I think the default game had 3. I know it had tower control. Did Splatoon 2 add a new... It did, right? The clam thing was a new mode in Splatoon 3, right? I'm not going crazy here. That was new for... Or Splatoon 2, I mean. Because the first Splatoon had... Oh my god, I can't believe I missed that. The first Splatoon had tower control, splat zones, and Rainmaker. So the second Splatoon added in... clams, right? Clam bake? I don't remember what the mode's called. I'm pretty sure that's what the second Splatoon, or Splatoon 2 added in. What's the new mode in this one? Come on, there's got to be a new one. Because, like, and I think part of it is that, like, I don't want Splatoon to just be Call of Duty. A lot of people have been, like, making the joke, like, or have said that we don't need a new Splatoon. Which is fair. We don't need a new Splatoon. And I want this game to come in and justify its existence. That it's not just Call of Duty with its yearly releases. That it's actually doing something to change things up and make things new. And you may say, well, that's the story mode. But to be fair, every Call of Duty has a story mode. It's just people don't really give a shit about it. Okay, not all of them have a story mode. I think Black Ops 2 skipped the story. Black Ops 4, I mean, skipped the story mode. I know one of the recent Call of Duty skipped it. But yeah, I don't want this Splatoon 3 to just be a Call of Duty. I want them to do something interesting with it. And so far from this trailer, I'm not convinced they are doing anything interesting with it. They might be, but this trailer definitely didn't showcase that. I'm still personally predicting. I know, who was it, Tyrell back in the day, really didn't like the idea of a battle royale mode. That's still my personal prediction. I still think it makes sense to add a battle royale mode, because that's the new hotness. And Splatoon 2 had Salmon Run, which was Horde mode, which at one point in time, after Gears of War, Horde mode was the new hotness. So having Splatoon come in and add a new mode, well, there's your new adding battle royale is the new hotness. And I even think they could do something interesting with it by having doing giant turf wars, right? 50 on 50 people turf wars, where you're covering a massive map. That would be really cool. That's just my thoughts on it anyways. And I hope that gets revealed at some point. But we shall see. Where the game still doesn't, the game doesn't have a release date or anything. It doesn't even have a release month, just next year. I don't know. I was originally predicting Kirby for March, Splatoon for May. That makes sense in my head. This is away from every other red peg. I don't even know if that can get anything, that green one. But yeah, that's what I was predicting. But with Kirby not getting a release date, I mean, it could still totally be March. But it could also be a May game. I don't know, Kirby just feels like such a March game. Because I think that's when Planet Robobot, Triple Deluxe, and the other one all came out. I think they all came out around, March. No, I think Triple Deluxe actually came out around September, if I remember correctly. But I don't know, it feels like one of those games that's oh, it'd be right around then. And Splatoon I will always equate with May, because that's when the first game launched. The first game was a May game. I think the second one was June. And that's also a distinct possibility, that Splatoon 3, Splatoon as I've been calling it, comes out in May. Or in June. That's totally June, July, whenever. That's not out of the cards yet. I don't know. I have hopes for something greater, obviously. But if it does come out then, that'd be fine. I don't know. I just wanted that game. I just wanted Splatoon 3 to justify its existence, and I really didn't feel like it did. Now, the story mode, on the other hand, I don't like the Octarians being back. I think Splatoon has done everything it can do with the Octarians. That's why the Octo expansion was so interesting. Because, well, yes, there were Octarian villains in that. At the end of the day, the game was doing something completely different. Or at least it felt different anyways. Which is, in my opinion, what matters more. And I hope the story mode in this game takes more influence from that. Because the Octo expansion was really good. And I'd love to see the story take more influence from that. But Rise of the Mammalians does sound interesting, bringing mammals back into the world. You know, besides for Jed? Jed and Little... It was called Jed, right? That's the cat's name? I feel like I feel like that's wrong, but I can't... It's not Jed, but that's the Minecraft developer. But bringing back mammals other than the cats, I think that has a lot of potential, especially with, the space thing. Having... Okay, so I read a webcomic recently called, Don't Hate, which, I'm just gonna spoiler alert for it right now. I'm not spoiling, the ending, but I guess I'm spoiling kind of something important. So, in the comic, right, the main character is the last human on Earth. That basically, after World War III or IV, it's kind of stupid how they explain it, but basically humans turn, all animals into, humanoid creatures. They gave all animals, legs and whatnot. And so, but since then, humans, went to war against animals and humans went extinct. Well, at a certain point, you find out that no, actually, humans are alive in this universe. They're all just living up in space. So that's kind of that's my thought of like, hey, where is this going? Are we going to find out that even though squids are now the dominant species on the planet, no, in fact, humans have just been living up in space this entire time? Which is something I would not put past this game, and in theory, that sounds really cool. Also, I'm excited because I know they brought Callie and Marie back for the story mode, but I also do hope we get new hosts for the radio show. Have some fun with that, because Pearl, I know people still don't like Pearl, but I actually really like Pearl and Marina, and I really hope we get some more stuff like that. Again, because they're just so good, and using the way they use them in the Octo expansion was really good as well. Okay, I'm gonna try to get that tube. There we go. I don't know. That's my personal hope, though, I guess. Ooh, that was a terrible shot. So was that one. But yeah, new radio host. Do something new and interesting. Because Splatoon is so good, and like the idea of them doing like new and interesting things sounds so cool. Terrible shot. And yeah, but yeah, so I don't know. At the moment, I'm still interested in Splatoon 3, but it just hasn't justified its existence from like, besides for your like Call of Duty yearly installment sort of thing. And then I think finally that ends with Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 3 is cool that it's finally here. 2017 was a long time ago at the Game Awards. So it's been a while, and it's cool that we're finally getting Bayonetta 3. That's cool. For people who are happy, for people who have been waiting a long time, I'm happy for them. I still personally, Bayonetta is just not my style of game. I do not like spectacle fighters. So to that end, Bayonetta 3 does not interest me as much. So yeah, in that way, I'm like, whatever. It's Bayonetta 3. But I know there are people who are really excited. Again, Bayonetta won the Smash poll. It's huge in Europe, I guess. So that's cool. For people who are excited, I'm glad you're excited. I'm not, but I don't care for spectacle fighters. So yeah. And the new like, at first it like tricked me into thinking it was something else, and I also forgot that Astral Chain was developed by Platinum. For some reason, while watching the direct, I was like, when I saw the Astral Chain thing show up, I was like, no, Astral Chain's a different developer, right? Especially because the like, I remember the Angels in Bayonetta looking very different, which is probably because these aren't Angels, but like the character designs just didn't feel Bayonetta-ish. But then again, it's been a long time since I've Bayonetted, so... if we could get that. We can't, I cannot do this, but we have a better chance than nothing. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I probably could have timed that shot better, but yeah, we were close. We were way closer than I expected. But yeah, and then Bayonetta's new design, it's because there's a thing, like, I guess the voice actor of Bayonetta was like, hey, don't get right, said something out, like, someone's like, oh, I couldn't imagine Bayonetta without your voice, and the voice actress was like, you might have to, and so there was worry about that, but I'm pretty sure that's the same voice actress. It definitely sounds like it to me anyways. Yeah, it sounds like the same voice actress, so hopefully it is, because they do a great job. I don't remember their name, but yeah. Oh, come on. Oh, I still have to hit that one. Oh, if that block hadn't been there. Yeah, this one's... Oh, I have no idea how to do this one. Yeah, the new design is interesting. I don't know. One day, much like Monster Hunter, one day I'll give Bayonetta a second chance because people really like those games, and in theory, I could see myself enjoying them. I just kind of don't. Okay, this is the best chance we have. Somehow we have to hit that. When I screw this up. Oh, yeah. But yeah, that's the Nintendo Direct. Again, I'm interested in Kirby. There's a few other things that are interesting here. There's a lot of reveals that I would be interested in that just got pushed out to other times, which I shouldn't hold against the showcase too much, but it is still something I can show. Again, part of me thought that going into this, that this Nintendo Direct didn't need to happen, and part of me still definitely feels that way. That like, oh, we could, if there hadn't been a Direct, it really wouldn't have been that big of a deal, because again, they're saving the Smash Bros. Announcement. They're saving the Animal Crossing announcement. So clearly some of these things just weren't ready in time. Or else they for sure would have been here. Right? Like, I'm not taking crazy pills on this. Yeah, totally. It would have made sense for Smash Bros. To be here if it was ready. They just must not have been. Gosh, we've already gone through... Oops. Smash Bros. Would have been here. Animal Crossing would have been here if they were ready. I think they're more ready with Animal Crossing than... Like, the fact that they even hinted at, like, it's the cafe. They could have totally showed something off. And then been like... They could have showed off more than what they did. And then just been like, oh, we'll show off more at a later date. I don't know. And yeah, so I'm still, I guess I am more positive on the Nintendo Direct than I was directly after the showcase the other day. Like, I'm not like, oh, this is 0 out of 10. Even yesterday I wasn't 0 out of 10. It's just what they showed in this just wasn't for me. Which, admittedly, that happens for people all the time. Like, I know I made the joke at the beginning about being the Greg Miller in this situation. Normally that's Tim Geddes, though. Normally Tim Geddes is the one who will watch the Direct and be like, oh, I don't care about Animal Crossing, I don't care about this game, I don't care about this game, so this Direct just wasn't for me. And yeah, normally that's Tim Geddes, but so I guess I'm that in this situation, because... But a lot of people seem to be way more positive on this Direct than I am. I definitely feel like I'm in the minority here. A lot of people seem to have thought way better of this Direct. Even with the Mario Brothers stuff, which, again, we're going to talk about here in a second. People still seem to be more positive than I was. Gosh dang it, we were so close. Yeah, I seem to be in the minority on this one, which is, yeah, it's rare for me, but it can happen. I can't remember the last time it happened, obviously, because it's been a while, because mostly I'm Mr. Positive when it comes to Nintendo, and, yeah. We talked about that for over an hour. But, let's talk about the Mario movie. Oops. Let's take a serious moment to talk about the Mario movie. Let me find. There's a tweet I need to pull up first. Let's talk about the Mario movie. So the casting for the Mario Brothers movie is I'm just talking about the main cast. It's Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi, Anna Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, and Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. That's the cast for the Mario Brothers movie. So if you watch my reaction, I'm like, what? But then I'm also like, yeah, okay, I like some of these. Like, I like Jack Black. Jack Black's fucking great. I like Charlie Day. I could totally see him as right. I'm down with that. Chris Pratt. A lot of people seem to hate Chris Pratt, and I'm not one of them. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I like the Lego movie. The first Jurassic World is fine. Second one sucks, but the first one's fine. I'm sure he's in other stuff. He was in that movie with Jennifer Lawrence. That was terrible, but I don't know. I in theory like Chris Pratt, so I don't know. I guess I'm not totally against that. And Seth Rogen, I don't know. A lot of people hate Seth Rogen, I guess. But I think he's fine. I think Seth Rogen's fine. I know he's not for everybody, but I think he's fine. That stupid Sausage Party movie, that I get why people hated that. Like that, and like, I'm not just talking about like the development problems where they like crunch the animators. Like, just like the humor of that movie, I get why people would hate that movie. It was stupid as fuck. But I loved that stupid fucking sausage movie. I haven't watched it since, obviously. But at the time, I was like, no, this stupid fucking movie about sausages that make dick jokes is kind of funny. I liked it. I liked it fine. It was, yeah. Jack Black? Fucking love Jack Black. He's so fucking great. He does not get nearly enough credit for being as great as he is. And he's been around a while. God, what was he? Was he the bully in the Neverending Story 3? Yeah, I don't remember why I remember that. I don't remember what Magic Hat does. Seriously, I have no idea what Magic Hat does. But yeah, and then again, Chris Pratt, I liked him in some of that. Keegan-Michael Key's fucking, yeah, he's funny. And then who's the other one? Charlie Day, yeah. I know a lot of people have been like, oh, have been making the Pepe Sylvia memes. And you know what? Those have been fucking funny, because the Pepe Sylvia thing is fucking funny. And the idea of, right, him as Luigi, Charlie Day is kind of, like, now that you see all the memes and whatnot, I'm like, yeah, no, I can still totally see it. I mean, so one of the main problems I see people having is that they're like, oh, they didn't get voice actors for this movie. They just got actors, and these actors aren't going to do voices. So when Mario comes out, it's not going to be Mario. It's just going to be Chris Pratt. I mean, Chris Pratt has said in like I think it was an Instagram post or something, that he has been working with Universal/Illumination to like do a Mario voice. So he says he's doing a voice. But then what about like the other characters? Like, do we really expect Seth Rogen to do like a Donkey Kong voice? Because like, I don't think Chris Pratt could do like the Charles Martinet Italian accent, especially because it's extremely offensive. I mean, I think we're used to it with Mario. We're used to a Frenchman playing an Italian because, you know, that's how it's been for so long now. But it's technically offensive. Like, come on. I mean, I have no problem with Charles Martinet doing it, but it's, again, he's just kind of been doing it for so long that I kind of can't see it any other way. Which we'll talk about Charles Martinet in a minute. But, like, yeah, do you expect Seth Rogen to do a voice? And, yeah, fair enough. I don't. I expect Seth Rogen to sound like Seth Rogen. Do you expect Jack Black to do a voice? No, not really. But I also could totally see... But I know for a fact Jack Black can do voices, first of all. And second of all, I could totally see Jack Black as Bowser. Like, fuck. Like, God, like, a lot of people, like, I don't want this movie to be taken seriously. I want this movie to be more like Paper Mario than I do anything else. Because Paper Mario is one of the only games where Mario has, like, character and charm, class, zeal. You know, he's fun. He's not just... Because, okay, a lot of people have been like, oh, can Chris Pratt play Mario? Okay, you know, I'm gonna use the tweet right now. Let me pull up the tweet. So this is Shiz's from Boundary Break. And he said, the cast of the Mario movie tells me everything I need to know. It's aiming to be Pixar, DreamWorks, Illumination, which I should point out, all three of those studios are completely different, and they all make very different styles of movies. So that's immediately wrong. Like, no. They're, like, it's aiming to be Illumination, and I guess kind of DreamWorks, but it's aiming to be Illumination because it's fucking Illumination that's making it. But it's a Pixar, DreamWorks, Illumination feeling film with a Super Mario Brothers theme. Think the Lorax or the Grinch. That's your good comparison. Like the Lorax or the Grinch. That's a pretty solid comparison. But this is the part that fucking breaks me. I thought it was going to be a strong movie adaptation of Mario lore. Mario lore. But that can't be the case now. What the fuck is Mario lore? Do you want to know what Mario lore is? Mario, a plumber from New York, gets transported in a magical warp pipe to the Mushroom Kingdom where he saves the princess from the dragon. That's it. That's all the Mario lore. Yeah, I know some of the RPGs and whatnot do some like weird and crazy things, and those games are fun. But that's not, like, when you think Mario, you think of the core Mario games. And guess what? That's not what this is. That's not what this was ever going to be. What did you expect? Fucking John Leguizamo and oh god, who played Mario? John Leguizamo was Luigi, Dennis Hopper was Bowser, and Lou Ferrigno. Was it Lou Ferrigno? Was he Mario? Who is that? What you expected from this? Because that, you know, the last time we went to deep Mario lore, that's what we fucking got. No, there is no... Mario lore is a fucking myth. Mario... like, literally, the plot of Mario only exists as a medium for gameplay. Shigeru Miyamoto has admitted this. Mario has no lore. Mario has no character. What is Mario's character? He's brave. He's heroic. He's Italian. That's it. Mario has no character. And what's Chris Pratt? He can play brave. He can play heroic. He's not Italian, but 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Or at least I don't think he's Italian. He might be. I don't think so, though. 2 out of 3, though? That's not bad. I mean, I saw Jurassic World. That's basically all he has to do, and that was a fucking nothing of a performance. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I should say. The second one. Yeah, no, this is, like, Chris Pratt can totally pull this off. Because the other problem I've seen is, someone, I think it was Arlo who brought this up, that, like, he expected Mario not to talk that much in this movie. Because the problem this movie is coming across is that how do you adapt Mario? Yes, Mario has one of the most basic plots in all of existence. Literally, there is a list of the 7 most basic plots in all of existence. And Mario's plot is one of them. It's called the Hero Princess Dragon. You know, and the other ones are like Rags to Riches and whatnot. I can't think of all 7 off the top of my head. I could look it up real quick. But no, Mario is such a basic plot. How do you make a fucking movie about that? That's where we got the original Super Mario Brothers movie. And people nowadays will try to tell you that the Super Mario Brothers movie from the 80s or 90s or whatever is actually good. Those people are fucking wrong. That movie sucks. This ain't the Phantom Menace. People will also try to tell you the Phantom Menace is good nowadays. It's not. Don't let those people trick you. These movies didn't suddenly become good all of a sudden. No, they were always terrible. Don't let people trick you. If you like it, especially for like nostalgia, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not a good movie. Because there are only, I don't know, 4 good video... There are 4... You know, I'm not even going to say there are 4 good video game movies. I will say there are 4 not bad video game movies. And 2 of them came out in the past... 3 of them came out in the past 5 years. Detective Pikachu. Solid. It's a good movie. It's nothing amazing, but it's good. I enjoyed it. Sonic. The Sonic 2016 movie. It's... Again, it's fine. It's nothing amazing, but I enjoyed it. I've definitely had worse times with movies. And Mortal Kombat was not bad, but it wasn't good either. Mortal Kombat was a solid, I don't know, like 5 out of 10, which again is not a... I know we're tricked in the modern day review score of anything less than an 8 being bad. No, 5 out of 10 is still... eh. And then there's like one other good video game movie that I couldn't even... Like, some people will argue Mortal Kombat. I don't think Mortal Kombat is not good. It's just not. But some people will argue that. But no, there are not that many good video game movies. And so Mario Brothers is... It's fighting an uphill battle. Because you can't really adapt video game movies. I mean, God, I saw that fucking Assassin's Creed movie. That was terrible. And Assassin's Creed had way more to work with than Mario does. And Sonic. The Sonic movie was fine. And you know what the Sonic movie did? They brought in John Marston and made it a fucking 2000s ride-along journey like fucking Hop. Yeah, that's how they did a Mario Brothers movie. That's how they did a Sonic movie. That movie's not good. But it's not bad either. It's fine. It's kind of like that Goosebumps movie as well. That Goosebumps movie was just like, oh, we're going to do like a 90s horror movie. That also had Jack Black in it, and Jack Black was kind of fun in that. At least in my opinion, he was. No, no, video game movies are already fighting an uphill battle. Like, this casting doesn't surprise me. And the other thing is, this is fucking Illumination, who have made 9 Despicable Me movies. Do we really expect high-class casting from fucking Despicable Me? The studio that brought Despicable Me? I most certainly don't. And I think part of my reaction to this movie being like, you know, this is fine, is because it's the studio that did Despicable Me. My expectations are so fucking low that I legitimately am not surprised by any of this casting. Like, and it's not even like, oh, this is such ridiculous casting, I'm gonna... Like, a lot of reaction videos I've seen to this have been people, like, laughing their ass off. I'm not even laughing my ass off. This is exactly what I expected. Seth Rogen being in this? Yeah, doesn't surprise me at all. Like, I kind of saw it coming while watching the trailer. And again, like, Seth Rogen's been producing... Like, he produces The Boys, he produces Invincible. At least I'm pretty sure he's producing Invincible. Didn't he produce Preacher as well, and maybe some of The Walking Dead, which is not good, but that's a story for another day. No, that casting doesn't... You know who I'm surprised isn't in this? The fucking Rock. Dwayne The Rock Johnson? This is totally the type of movie he'd do. Right? I'm honestly surprised he's not in this. Because that totally seems like something he would do. Because that's just kind of the type of movie this is. And I don't know. And on one hand, I feel like a lot of people have missed this. Right? They've just kind of missed the fact that this is like, oh, it's the Illumination Mario Brothers movie. I've seen several takes of people on Twitter who thought this is a live action movie. That think that the Mario Brothers movie is live action. Like, they don't know that Illumination's doing it. And they think it's going to be live action, kind of like the Sonic or the Pokemon Detective Pikachu. Or the original Mario Brothers movie. No, from what we know, this is a completely animated movie. Of course, there is speculation that they might, like, do that thing where, like, the start of the movie is live action, and then they get transported to the animated world. Which is something that has happened in other... I think video game movies as well. And that sounds terrible. I hate that idea of them like just starting off in like live action and then transitioning to animation. That sounds terrible. To have it take place in the Mushroom Kingdom the entire time. But yeah, and then the other thing, so I mentioned earlier with Arlo, right, that he didn't expect much talking in this movie. But, like, it's a movie. You can't I mean, yes, in a more artsy film, you could totally get away with having the character not talk. But this is a mainstream Illumination movie. No, of course Mario was going to talk. And you may say, well, you know, just get Charles Martinet. He's been voice acting the character for... I don't know. I feel like the first time Mario had voice acting in a game was... I don't know. See, okay, no, correction. I don't know when Mario first had voice acting in a game. My first thought is like the N64 with Super Mario 64, but Charles Martinet might have been voicing the characters in ads long before that. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, honestly, I don't know, but I heard the number 25 years, and that both feels like a long time, but it's also Mario's been around for 35 years, so it's totally possible. I don't know. But, like, people are like, why not get Charles Martinet to do the voice? And to that end, like, there's a clip going around right now of Charles Martinet, like, doing the Mario voice for, like, 30 seconds. And, like, it's a cute clip, right? It's a fun clip. But listening to the Mario voice for an hour and a half, because, you know, most movies nowadays are an hour and a half to 2 hours. Most kids' movies are usually an hour and a half. But listening to the Mario voice for an hour and a half sounds fucking unbearable. Like, yeah, I like Charles Martinet's Mario voice, but listening to him do it for an hour would suck. Just straight up, that sounds terrible. I don't, and again, he's a good voice actor, and I think he does a really great job with Mario, and I know he's done other stuff as well. He's Parthenax in Skyrim. And Princess Peach is the same voice actress as Cortana from Halo. You know, in the games. Ann Taylor. So yesterday I didn't recognize Ann Taylor-Joy. She's from Queen's Gambit. I haven't seen Queen's Gambit. I know she's in other stuff like Mad Max Fury Road, but yeah. I just didn't recognize her off the top of my head. But yeah, no, it's like listening to the Mario voice from Charles Martinet. It would be... I don't know. I just couldn't do it for like an hour and a half. That would just kind of suck. So getting someone who can do more of like a non-voice, just like, and I'm sure Charles Martinet can totally do like a more restrained Mario voice. But again, this is a mainstream movie. There is a long, I know there's been a recent pushback in recent years of about voice actors in Hollywood and how they don't get their dues and how like they're mostly relegated to like TV shows and whatnot, and how, you know, we need to have more voice actors in movies, but instead studios will just hire like mainstream actors like Chris Pratt to play their main characters instead of getting, you know, actual voice actors who know what they're doing. Really, like, I don't know how this pushback's probably been around for a while now. The first time I really remember seeing it was after Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was cast in Moana, because he couldn't sing in that movie, and it was like, hey, why are you getting someone who can't sing a song? Just get like an actual voice actor who can sing. That would probably go over way better, you know? That's really when this that's probably not when this started, but that's when I first saw it anyways. And I mean, it's a fair point. Why not get voice actors to do their actual job instead of just getting Hollywood superstars? But at the same time, I know, again, this is part of me having such low expectations for this movie. I know how the movie industry works. They're just going to hire big name celebrities. That's what they have always done. Basically, every Pixar movie works like that. And a lot of Disney movies work like that as well. This really isn't like a big surprise for me. That's just kind of how these things work nowadays. But yeah, so the idea of Charles Martin just doing his Mario voice for an hour and a half, I like it. You might be able to make it work, but I could also just see it being super annoying. Could you imagine the Toad voice for an hour and a half? The, hey Mario, I'm Toad. Okay, I can't do, my voice is shot right now, so I can't do the Toad voice. But Mario, I'm Toad. Mario. Yeah, I can't, my voice is completely shot right now. Go look up like someone who can actually do it, like, I don't know, like Vine Sauce. But could you imagine listening to that for 2 fucking hours? That sounds miserable. The Toad voice for long enough? I would hate that. But, you know, and I know, oh, well, you get Keegan-Michael Key, he's just going to sound like himself. Yeah, but it's better than the Toad voice for 2 hours. And, you know, maybe he will do a voice. I've seen him in other things. He could probably do a voice. Who's to say he can't? Right? The Dragon Power-Up is my favorite. Well, on Peggle for a second. Yeah, Dragon Power-Up is the best one. But yeah, who's to say he can't do a voice that's that's fine and not annoying as Toad? Could you get like an actual voice actor to come in and do like probably a better voice? Maybe, but at the same time, this is fucking Illumination. What did you expect? But yeah, I don't know. I just the idea of like listening to Charles Martinet's Mario voice, just and then I saw someone with the take that like, oh, Charles Martinet has been voicing Mario for years now, and now this comes out and he doesn't get the respect from Hollywood. Which my take on that is that, are you like, it's Hollywood. It's a completely different system, first of all. And second of all, are you saying video games aren't as worthy as Hollywood? Which I think comes to another problem this movie is kind of, right, of 2 different reactions I've seen so far. It's one, people are taking movies too seriously. That like, hey, movies have such a high standard. That like, oh, the movies need to be taken like the Mario Brothers movie is a big deal. It needs to be taken seriously. No, it fucking doesn't. This is coming from a guy who's talked a lot about movies, who knows a lot of shit. Movies, yes, they can be high art, but so can video games. Movies aren't always all they're cracked up to be. They can also just be kind of bullshit. Again, this is Illumination we're talking about here. The studio that did fucking Sing. This not everything is high art. But the other part is that I think people are disrespecting video games. People aren't, like, the idea that, oh, Charles Martinet's been playing Mario for 25 years, and now, oh, they're doing a Hollywood movie, so he's not in it. Like, that's, and like, oh, he's been slighted by Hollywood or whatever. As if, like, being Mario for 25 years is kind of a big fucking deal. It'd be like, right, like, look at Sonic. Sonic has gone through, like, 5 or 6 voice actors. Mario has had 1. I mean, there might have been others, but you really only know of the one. That's a big deal. Video games are video games are a bigger industry than film. They make more money. I know I just was joking about the money thing, but video games make way more money than films do. Video game is a big industry, and I feel like the way some people are talking about this, it's devaluing the industry. Yes, I know a lot of the industry is bullshit. I know I come up here every week and talk about how these companies are doing horrible things, right? Activision Blizzard, Ubisoft, EA. But video games are still a big deal. They're still, I know we have that whole are video games art debate. Video games are art. And I think like Hollywood's not doing a disservice to Charles Martinet. I think the people talking about it like it is doing a disservice to him. By talking about as if like his role as Mario doesn't matter as much because it wasn't validated by a Hollywood movie. He's been the voice of Mario for 25-ish years. Again, I don't have the exact number off the top of my head. He's totally he's gotten the respect, he's gotten the credit, but it's just, this is video games. They're 2 different mediums that have their own styles and whatnot. At least that's my thoughts on the whole thing. And of course, they did say that, hey, guess what? Charles Martinet will be in this movie. Part of the reason I think they said that is because that thing, he did like an interview or whatever recently, where he said like, oh, I have not been asked to be in the movie. I have not been asked to voice act Mario or whatever, which did get a lot of people's jimmies in a twist. And I know there was even that one person who even predicted it was going to be Chris Pratt. Plus, I think Joseph Anderson also made a joke about it as well. But yeah, no, I just think people are, like, this is a whole different beast of burden. And I just think people are giving Charles Martinet a disservice. And of course he'll cameo in the movie, and I'm sure, and like, what role does he play? I don't know. Who knows? But I'm sure it'll be fine. Or get him to play multiple characters. I don't know. It's like Mark Hamill is in like is in all 3 of the Star Wars sequels, but he just voice acts like random characters. No, yeah, seriously, Mark Hamill, typecast as Luke Skywalker, had a huge career in voice acting, and yeah, he's like a bar patron in Episode 7. He's of course Luke Skywalker in Episode 8, and then I think he's the guy who gives the rebels the plans at the beginning of Episode 9. Yeah, so yeah, they could totally do whatever with him. And then, of course, there's a few other characters in the Mario movie as well. I don't have any of those names pulled up right now, but yeah, I don't know. I guess part of it is just I have such low expectations for this movie that the casting doesn't surprise me. But at the other time, it's like, how else do you make a Mario Brothers movie? Like, what else did you expect from this? Like, seriously, I don't know what people expect. Like, everyone seems to have wildly different expectations for this movie. And so this cast, like, is it bad casting? And of course, if you don't like the casting, that's totally also valid. Like, I can totally see that. Again, I kind of brought up that thing yesterday where Chris Pratt is a Republican. He's married to Arnold Schwarzenegger's daughter, for Pete's sake. Like, yeah, he's a Republican. As far as I know, he has never said anything about, like, he's never, like, been, like, transphobic or homophobic or whatever. Or racist. He might have totally been, though. And if he is, yeah, no. Because nobody ever gets canceled for their views on the economy. People get canceled for being transphobic, homophobic, all that. Nobody gets canceled for their views on the economy. That still hasn't changed. But, and if he, you know, and I don't know, I guess a lot of people hate Chris Pratt and think he's, like, overused in Hollywood, and I guess I just don't have, because, again, I kind of like the Lego movie, so I don't really share that opinion. I mean, I kind of get it, but we're also in kind of the Great Hollywood Chris-Off, as it was once called, because we have, like, 4 or 5 Chris's running around Hollywood right now. Of course, the best one is Hemsworth, but, wouldn't that have been funny? Him as Mario. Okay. Nope. But yeah, no, well, yeah, I don't, and again, I don't even think this is, like, amazing casting or anything. I just, like, I've seen a lot of different takes on this, and it's just like, they're all wildly different, and and a lot of them just kind of suck, honestly. Like, some of them are totally valid, and, like, there are some good points to be made here. But this is also the Illumination Studios Mario Brothers movie. What else did you expect from this? Like, really? And I know how Hollywood works. This doesn't surprise me in the slightest. This really doesn't. And again, if I'm wrong, if Chris Pratt is, like, racist or homophobic or whatever, then I'll turn my back on him, sure. It won't stop me from loving the Lego movie. Nope. That's still one of my favorite movies of all time. And I guess I am a little biased in that front. But yeah. So that's the Mario Brothers movie casting. I don't know. I've kind of, this is not, like, In Chat is one of those series that, like, some nights we have some great streams, and then other nights we just don't, and I don't feel like tonight's been one of the good ones. But hopefully I got all my I feel like I covered all my points. God, deep Mario Brothers low. That tweet literally was just like, what the fuck are you talking about, shizzes? Like, that tweet still blows me away. Oh, hey, look, it's the bookworm from that game. Bookworm. I don't actually remember what that game was called. I think it had word in the name. So let's move on to one more piece of gaming news we have before we get into WIBE. So there's that Perfect Dark game that's being made by what's the studio called? The Initiative, I think it is. Which, what other games have the initiatives done? I'm going to look that up real quick. The Initiative. Are they a new studio? Oh, God. They were the ones who came up with this. Founded in 2018, so I guess not. So they're probably new. But we know... whatever. We know the Initiative is making Perfect Dark, and it was announced today that Crystal Dynamics, who, you know, make the Tomb Raider games, are going to be helping the Initiative make the Perfect Dark game. Which, okay, that's... I don't know, the Perfect Dark game is, again, Perfect Dark, when it comes to, like, shooters on the N64, Perfect Dark has held up better than GoldenEye, even though GoldenEye gets all the credit. Perfect Dark is technically the better game. It just holds up better, if I remember correctly. Like the gameplay is better, and right, it's just more mechanically sound, but people still love GoldenEye more. Oh, come on. Yeah. Oh, yes. I think that's right there. Cool. But yeah, so the Initiative is working with Crystal Dynamics to do Perfect Dark. Okay. It's weird, like, that's, like, I don't know, admittedly, we knew that game wasn't, like, coming out for, like, years, but at the same time, I don't know, there's just part of me that's like, huh, really, Crystal Dynamics is helping them out with this? Okay. And, I mean, admittedly, Crystal Dynamics is they're a Squeenix studio, right? They're owned by Squeenix, if I remember correctly. I mean, I could totally be wrong about that, but for some reason, I remember them being, like, owned by Squeenix. I'm probably totally wrong about that. Because didn't Crystal Dynamics do the Marvel's Avengers? But yeah, they're helping out with Perfect Dark, so that's interesting. I don't know, it's just one of those weird things that, like, okay, sure. I think the only reason I put the story on here is because I'm interested in whatever the Initiative's Perfect Dark game is going to be. Because I feel like this has been getting hyped for a while now, and now that it's, like, finally happening, there's this certain gravitas to the whole thing, where I'm like, oh, that's kind of neat, you know? Oh, if we had bounced in the other direction, we might have been able to get another ball. Not like I would have saved it. Yeah, it's just... I don't know. I guess I didn't have much to say. It's just I just find it interesting. Oh, I shot too early. And then I guess that takes us to WIBE, which, yeah. So... WIBE, so last week we talked about Skatebird, and I was not vibing with Skatebird. I'd only played like an hour or two of it, probably even less than that. But, like, there was no tutorial, and I was kind of annoyed with that, because I felt like I had no idea what I was doing, and I don't know, I guess I just wasn't really vibing with Skatebird all that much. Well, after that, like, I don't know, like a day or two later, I picked up Skatebird again, and I played some more, and I enjoyed it more. Like, having played it a little bit more, yeah, I definitely had more fun with it after coming back to it again. I definitely picked up on the controls and how to do tricks and all that. My God, I ruined it just because I failed this shot so many times. Yeah, no, I came back, I beat some more of the missions that I was stuck on in the first world, and I moved on, and I did the second and third worlds, but eventually, like, so, I think the camera kind of sucks. Like, sometimes, like, if the camera, like, you can lower the camera down, and it just puts the camera in, like, a terrible position, and it really started to, like, annoy me. Like, the camera... Like, sometimes it felt like it was fine, but then other times I would, like, push it down on the stick, and it would just be like, oh, this camera position sucks. Ugh. So that sucked whenever that happened, which it happened more than once. I eventually got better at, like, just jingling the camera around, but for a while there, I was kind of annoyed. Yep. Gosh, that Zimbal, man. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh. Oof. But yeah, so after playing it for a while longer, I did some more levels, but I eventually hit what I'm going to call the skill ceiling. Like, it got to the point where I felt like I was I had hit, like, the max, like, level I was good at. And I just, like, I stopped being able to do missions. It started all in the third world. There's a mission in the third world that has you, where you have to, like, jump off this half pipe to go, you're, like, trying to find this bird's, like, back scratcher or something like that. And you, like, jump off this half pipe, and that takes you up a level, but then you have to jump off, like, a second half pipe to get even higher. And for some reason, I just couldn't get high enough, no matter how hard I tried. Like, one of the things that does annoy me about that game is gaining height. Like, maybe I just suck at it, but no matter how hard I tried, I could just not gain height in that game. Yeah. So and I eventually, that was like the first, like, hour or two. Eventually I figured out, like, oh, if you just go up a ramp, do some tricks, and then come back down, and right, like, you keep doing tricks, you'll eventually gain height. But it was still a pain in the ass. And then I got better at it, and I eventually figured out. But eventually I was like, I'm pretty sure there's like a maximum height. And once I hit that maximum height, I just can't figure out how to get any higher. And to get this, like, bird's back scratcher or something, you need to be able to get higher, and I just can't, no matter, like, how hard I try. I can't figure out how to get the height I need, which is just kind of annoying. And then I think that was in the third world, and in the fourth world, the challenges just kept getting harder and harder, and I just, like, you need to get, like, so many points, and I just stopped being able to get, like, the points needed to, like, beat the missions, and, because I kind of suck at the game as well, but, like, some of it wasn't, like, I definitely was getting better for a while, but now I just stopped, and eventually I just put it down, and I haven't touched it, like, in, like, 3 days. But I was, for at least a little bit, I was enjoying it. Not always, but for a little bit, I was definitely enjoying it. That's what I wanted. Oh, thank you, Zinball, for knowing exactly what I need. Yeah, that makes my life easier. Come on, come on. Oh! Yeah, so that was Skatebird. I think I'm done. Like, in theory, I want to do more, because I want to like it more. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, I'm good. And the tutorial, like, there are still things I'm convinced I know nothing about. Like, eventually, like, as you go through the first world, it's a tutorial world, the first world, and, like, you start to get, like, better and better at the tutorials. So, that was something I eventually figured out. But it also just kind of became annoying to get through all the tutorials and all that. Or, like, to try to figure out, like, what the tutorials want you to do. I want to see where this takes me. Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I was enjoying it for a little bit. I was definitely enjoying it. That's what I will say, is for a moment, I was hoping it would help me get that red pig up there. I have no idea how to get that one on the left. Oh, shit. Oh, do they all go to the beehive? Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, I think we have this from here. That was the one that was tricking me over. For some reason, I thought only the left, like the left and the right ones go to the same thing. I guess not. Ooh, that was a good shot. But yeah, after Skateboard, did I play any other video? So I do have the PS5 now. Alright, I showed it off in stream yesterday. I just got it. Right, like it just came in through the mail. I haven't even plugged it in yet. I cleaned off my desk to like put a place for it. I know exactly where I'm gonna put it. I just haven't put it there yet. I just haven't gotten around to that yet. But I have a good idea of where I'm gonna put it, so I'll do that and sometime in the coming days. The game I want to play first on it, well, the game I was thinking about playing first on it was ooh, that was a shot. Was Spider-Man, because like when I got the PS4, the first game I played on that was Spider-Man the Spider-Man PS4 game. So I was like, oh, it makes sense for the first game I play on the PS5 to be Miles Morales. But like I said, it was just on sale the other day, and I didn't buy it then. And I'm kind of like, oh, I should have bought it, and I didn't at the time, and I kind of regret it. But like, if I had, I would totally be playing Miles Morales right now. We already played Bugsnax, which, yeah, okay, technically that's the first PS4 game I played. So I guess that's kind of it. The other game, though, is Chicorio, which I know is on PS4, but I was kind of waiting for PS5 eventually. And that's an indie game made by, I think, the devs who did Wandersong, which Wandersong, I don't like rhythm games, but Wandersong was pretty good. And so the idea of like, hey, this is the new game by the developers of Wandersong, that's promising in and of itself. But from people I know, like who I trust, they have told me that Chicorio, which I hope I'm pronouncing that right, is going to be my game of the year, right? Like it's got everything I love in like an indie game, so it's probably going to be my game of the year. So yeah, so hopefully one day I'll get around to booting up the PS5 and playing Chicorio. Hey, what's up? You rock, dude. How you doing? But yes, one day I'll play that PS5. One day I'll touch it. And I'll have fun with it, hopefully. And then, what else have I been doing? Let's see. Oh, so there's that new Star Wars show that came out, Star Wars Visions. I watched the first 3 episodes of that Star Wars Visions. I haven't, so I guess let's talk about that for a minute. Doing good, man. I like Peggle. Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm just streaming I was gonna play a game on Xbox today, and then I spent like 6 hours downloading it, and it just didn't download in time. So I was like, you know, let's do Peggle instead. I haven't played Peggle in like 5 years. That sounds fun. Yeah, I was lucky enough to get a PS5. It took me literally a year to the day. Like the original PS5 pre-orders went out a year ago today. But I was somehow able to get one or a year ago from the day I got it. Not a year ago like today, but I worded that badly, but you know what I mean. Oh, come on. I got to get this one back here as well. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not doing it on this attempt either. Yeah, and then so I watched that Star Wars Visions, and I the first episode is like doing like the classic like Japanese, Japanese style Ronin movie. It's all in black and white with like a few color exceptions like the lightsabers. And that umbrella lightsaber is so cool. But the first episode, I was like, yeah, this is pretty solid. This is a pretty solid episode, all things considered. The second episode is like, it's like about a band, and it's way more anime. Like, because Star Wars Visions is basically the Animatrix, but for Star Wars. So, like, the second episode is just like, hey, we're going to do an anime about, like, a band in the Star Wars universe, and they almost get killed by Jabba the Hutt, and one of the kids is, like, a Jedi who escaped the Jedi Temple, and they're having fun with it, and it's very anime, and on some level, I'm like, watching anime, I'm, like, totally fine. I forgot we have the Zen Ball right there. Watching anime is totally fine for me. But somehow watching Star Wars anime, there's like this level of cringe to it that I can't really describe, but it was totally there, and I'm like, ooh. But I enjoyed it. It was fine. The third episode, though, it was done by Studio Trigger, which is a studio I can't. Did they do? Was it called Promare? What's that freaking show called? Maybe it's Promare, but whatever it is, they do that, and they're known for like good animation, just like doing some crazy stuff. I think they do Gurren Lagann, don't they? Now that I'm thinking about it for a second. Oh gosh, I am screwed here. Oh, ooh. Yep, no, nothing I can do can get me there. Okay, let me think. Is there any way I can... I'm screwed. Nope. I'll get this eventually. But yeah, so the third episode is Studio Trigger, and it's about like these twins who have like a Death Star cannon, and on like a Star Destroyer, and like the twins are just fighting with each other, and I thought the animation's very extreme in like an anime sense, but I think it's perfect for Star Wars. This was the one the reason I just watched the first 3 episodes, and this was the one I was excited to watch, the Studio Trigger one, and it's great in my opinion. It's exactly what I wanted it to be in every way. I really enjoyed the Studio Trigger one. Like, I am so impressed with it. And I like the animation. I like some of the weird shit they do. There's the girl, so the twins, like the girl has like 6 lightsabers at one point, and it's just bonkers, but it's so much fun that like I can't really complain, because I was having fun with it. I really was. Let's see if they can make a good shot out of this. Sure enough, they can. No! Okay, nope. Okay, I'll take a free ball. Let's go right there. Okay, we have 2 more. No, okay, 1 left. And I screwed up. Gosh dang it, I'm getting so close on this one. But yeah, I like that Star. And the other thing I liked about the Visions is that it's basically just like a mini Star Wars, like it's about twins, one who was of light and dark, fighting, and I just was really impressed with it overall. That was the one I'll probably watch the other, I think it's 9 episodes total, another day. But for the moment, I was just super impressed with that one episode. Yeah, does it have that, like, anime cringe I was describing a second ago? Technically, yeah, because, like, some of the voice, like, I started watching it, and I was like, wait, is this going to be subbed or dubbed? I hadn't even thought about that until I started watching it. It's dubbed, of course, but, like, it was a distinct possibility that it might not have been. I'm already... I mean, that Zen would have been nice, but this run's already over. I mean, unless I can salvage it right here. I don't know how I'm going to get those remaining 4. I mean, I guess... come on. Oh, no. Okay, let me think here. Okay, I have to get that last one. No, this one takes priority. Oh. Do I go down lower? Shoot. I'm gonna eventually get no ball. Okay, this last one should be easy. I think I've got a direct shot to it from right there. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that one... Ooh, I struggled on that one. Yeah, anything else? Oh, so you know how we always talk about, like, weird and stupid foods on this show? Right? Like, I think... What did we talk about last week? Did we... I don't remember. Well, so there's a new flavor of Mountain Dew. I think it's exclusively at Kroger's. Called Mountain Dew Thrashing Apple. Which, okay, so it's an apple-flavored Mountain Dew. My first thought upon seeing it, is this the Apple Mountain Dew from that internet? So, so famously there was like an internet contest to name a flavor of Mountain Dew. And I think the winner of the contest was like Gushing Granny or something like that. And I was wondering, is this that flavor? That the famous, like, Do Us a flavor that I don't ever remember getting released. Did they finally release it as a Thrashing Apple Mountain Dew? Like 10, 15 years later? I don't know. It's been a while. It's interesting to think about, nevertheless. And I tried it. And there's a soda called, is it called San Manzano? It's something like that. But it's an apple flavored soda. I don't know where you can get it nowadays, because I used to get it at this one restaurant that no longer exists. But it's an apple flavored soda. And that's exactly what this Mountain Dew tastes like. Like, I compared the Fruit Punch Mountain Dew to like Tiki Punch or whatever. That this one is just this is just like a apple soda. Or at least that's what it reminds me of, definitely. I don't think it's bad. But it's definitely not like a flavor I would go out of my way to get, if you know what I'm saying. Especially because I had to go to a Kroger's to get it, and there is not one of those. Oh. There is not one anywhere as near me. I had to. It took. And then, of course, I searched the entire store for it. And where was it? In the last place I looked. I literally went through that entire store. And because it was a nightmare. There's a reason I don't go to Kroger's, besides for there not being one close to me. Okay, this is totally me just blowing this. But yeah, it was fine. Did I try any? Oh, did I ever talk about that Starbucks? So I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. But Starbucks did an apple flavor. So I like apple pie. I like apple's flavor in general, but I like apple pie. And Starbucks did an apple pie flavored, like, instead of like pumpkin, they do pumpkin spice, but instead of pumpkin spice, they also added like an apple flavor this year. And I was like, you know, I really like apple. I'm gonna try this apple Starbucks. I did not like it. I did not care for it at all. Maybe it's partly that I don't drink coffee, but it also just did not taste as appley as I wanted it to. And I think that's every story we have for today. So I guess that takes us to the outro. Oh yeah, so now we're at the True Master stuff. Best dragon. Yeah, so I know there's still all this True Master stuff to deal with, but we just beat Peggle. Like, I do want to point that out, that I was expecting maybe to get halfway through the game. We technically just beat all the characters. I know there is still technically more to Peggle than this. And then there's that night mode thing that I don't really remember that much. Like, I don't remember ever playing a night mode. Maybe it's just been a long time. But yeah, I did not expect it to make it as far in Peggle as we did today. So yeah, I guess that takes us to the outro, because we've talked about everything I need to, and tonight's already been a weird show in and of itself. Any final thoughts? So, Nintendo Direct was fine. There wasn't much other news than that. I'm super busy with, university still. It's still, like, nothing's changed. It's still, like, just keeping me busy every day. Reading thousands of pages every day. Oh, we hit one. I'm not gonna do this. I've messed it up. We only got like 4 left, but they're a tricky 4. Oh wow. Oh. You know what? If I hadn't screwed that one up right there, we might have been able to do it. Probably not, because I honestly can't figure a way in here. Yeah, that definitely wasn't it. But yeah, eventually I'll get around to that PS4. Will I do a Let's Play in it? I don't know, maybe. Will I Let's Play? I don't know. And then I've also been wanting to play Deathloop as well, because I've heard great things about that, but I'll get around to that at a later date. Oh, actually, I want to go this way. Yeah, oh, come on, yeah. Ah, so close. I've been watching Young Justice. I've been so busy that I haven't even had time to watch Young Justice. I think I'm like 3 episodes away from the finale, but that's still a good 3 episodes away, and I don't know. I watched a few, like 1 or 2 today, but I have not had that much time to watch it. Not as much as I want anyways. I'm so busy, and I have a paper due on, I think it's Monday morning, so I've got like the first like major paper. So I've got a lot to do on that. Maybe it's Monday night. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I think it's Monday night actually. Either way, it's keeping me busy. I would have rather taken out that top block. Ugh. We did a lot better job of clearing this one, but I also did terrible on it. Let's, yeah, let's exit game. So yeah, that's Peggle. Will we do Peggle again next week? I don't know. How many... Does it actually say how many... I don't know what Peggle Night is. I don't think there are that many levels left. Like, real talk, I'm pretty sure we did close to all... Like... Yeah, we had just these levels left. I knew there wasn't much left. God, I remember this one being a nightmare. Oh, I think you have to bring the owl into that one. It's one of these anyways. I don't know. So yeah, I did not expect to actually beat the game tonight. I thought maybe we'd get halfway through it. I still kind of remember what I was doing. I still really enjoy Peggle. It's a classic. Of course, it doesn't beat my personal favorite PopGap game, Insane Aquarium. But it's... Oh, you know what? Fuck, I didn't even talk about Cookie Clicker. Fuck, I didn't have it written down on the list. Let's just take a moment to talk about Cookie Clicker then. You know what? Fuck it. We're adding it to the end right here. I'll take a moment to talk about Cookie Clicker. Because that's just been what I've been addicted to. So, Cookie Clicker... So, we talked about this a few weeks ago. Cookie Clicker got added to Steam. And I was like, you know what? I'll check it out. I'll see what this is about. Because I had played it, like, a long time ago. But since then, they'd added, like, so much stuff to the game. So, I was like, you know what? It's probably time to give it another fair shake. And so, I had started playing it. And I was making slow progress, to say the least. Like, my progress was not going too well. Like, okay, so I got to the first prestige level. And I prestige, and I was like, okay, I prestige once. And then I was like, you know, I bet there's probably, like, a certain way to do this. Like, there's probably, like, certain levels you should prestige at. So I looked up a guide on, like, oh, what level should you prestige at? And it's like, okay, the next level you prestige at is, I want to say, it was, like, level, like, 400 something. So I was like, okay, I'll prestige again at level, like, 400. So so it took me... basically 2 weeks of... So, okay, when it comes to Cookie Clicker, from my understanding of reading, like, some subreddit stuff and some Wikipedia stuff, there are two, like, principles of how people play it. One is active playstyle, and the other is passive. Basically, passive is just, like, letting the game, like, play itself while you just, like, go and, like, the game will auto-generate cookies for you. The other is active, which is, like, you clicking the mouse... or doing whatever, right? An active time playstyle. Well, I had been using a passive playstyle. That's just kind of what I had been using right? Or at least for like 2 weeks, I was using a passive playstyle. Oh, I didn't realize that was our final ball. Ah, shit. I legitimately thought we had that. Let's try that one. This is a mistake. But yeah, so I was trying a passive style, and for about 2 weeks, and it really wasn't going all that well. Like, yeah, I eventually made it to level 440, but it took forever. But near the end of it, because one of the things I just had, like, there's an idol to, like, oh, as long as you don't click on golden cookies, you get these bonuses. And I had been using that from the Pantheon. But eventually, I was like, you know what happens if I just click, like, I think I accidentally clicked on one. And I was like, you know what, let's just try active time playstyle. Oh my gosh, it went so much better. And it went faster as well. Active time play in Cookie Clicker is 100% the way to play that game. Oh my, like, so it took me basically 2 weeks to get to level 440. That's the first prestige. So I did that, I got all the prestige upgrades, and I was like, okay, cool. Now, I think the next level was like 2,000 something. Like 2,800. So I was like, okay, I'll start working towards that. But this time I'm doing like a more and I'm not playing it like every day. Like sometimes I'm just leaving it on while I go do other stuff. Sometimes I won't even turn on the game until like I get home after college. Because I don't have the game running while I'm in class, obviously. Because, you know, I actually have to use the computer for other things. I guess let's try you. So I'm not always, like, playing it or whatever, but once I switched over to active style, it started going... Oh my god, it went so much better. And so after that, like, I looked up, like, okay, so I now knew what level I need to prestige at, and I looked up some other weird things as well, so I had a better idea of what I was doing, per se. Ooh, that's an interesting one. I'll take it. But yeah, so I had a better idea what I was going into the second prestige to get that 280. And I hit 280 in like 3 hours. Doing the active playstyle, it went so... Well, not... Because once you, like, start prestiging, you start gaining, like, cookies faster. Because every prestige level gives you, like, a 1% multiplier. But then on top of that, it also... Like, I realized at some point that... So you have these golden cookie effects. And I realized at some point that they stack. So in theory, you can stack... Say, like, there's a golden cookie that for, like, 2 minutes... It makes times 7 your cookie production. But there's another one that for like 30 seconds, it will, like, your clicking does 777 times production. And those can stack. And it's not, like, especially with, like, some of the idols and some of the upgrades, it's not hard to get them to, like, overlap. It takes a while because they're both rare effects. But if you can get them to overlap, they're broken. It's just an utterly broken strategy. And eventually I just came to realize, like, oh shit, this is the way to play the game. And once I started playing the game that way, it just worked. And it worked well. And so I got the second prestige in like a day. In just a few hours. The third prestige, I just skipped. Because I was right about to hit the level of the third prestige. As I was in, like, I hit the third prestige, and then I immediately got that golden cookie finger thing. And so I made basically, like, almost double what not even more than double what I needed for the prestige. I made a ridiculous amount of cookies. And it was just like, at this point, it might just be faster to just go for the next level, to go from the third to the fourth prestige. So I spent another day in the game and went from the third to the fourth prestige. And yeah, I did that. And I hit that last night. So this morning, after I got out of class, I started on the fifth prestige. I hit the fifth prestige in like 2 hours. Maybe it was 3, but it was a really short amount of time. And it was like, okay, well, so one of the things I have to do is I screwed up on the fourth prestige. You need to end your cookie supply on a 7 to get like one of the upgrades. Your prestige level needs to be on a 7. I screwed that. I thought I did it right. I screwed it up. So now I have to end my prestige level at 7. But I am prestiging so fast now that I have maybe a second to click it to get to the 7. Now, of course, I can just sell stuff and it'd make it easier. Like, I could just sell some of my my idol masters or whatever, and I'd easily get to 7. But it's also just like, do I really want to waste my time on that? Like, selling these things? Like, really? Is it really worth it? I don't know if it is. Oh, I was really hoping to get that other one. Oh, come on. Okay, we've got 2 left. And I didn't shoot it far enough. Oh my gosh, I'm getting so close on this one. But yeah, so I made it to the 5th prestige. And then I just kept going. Because it was like, okay, I need to get on the 7. But I didn't want to sell anything yet. Because as one of the things you get is like these permanent upgrades. And I looked up a permanent upgrade guide. And it's like, okay, you want these milk cats. So I was like, you know, I'm like halfway to like the next upgraded milk cat. So I might as well just get for that. And in the process of getting that upgraded milk cat, I basically made it like 2/3 of the way to the 6th prestige level. So it's like, at this point, it's like, you know what? I might as well just try to get the 6th prestige. maybe even get the next Milk Cat after that. Because, like, the Milk Cats are super important to these prestige level. To, like, the permanent slot upgrades, I guess. So that's what I've been working on. And I don't know, I'm presumably got a lot left in the game. And I haven't even, like, there's this, like, at some point you unlock, like, this research factory. And I'm pretty sure the research factory is what triggers the Grandma Apocalypse. But I haven't even, like, done any, like, investigating into that yet. To, like, figure out, like, oh, like, it makes sense if it triggers the Grandma Apocalypse. But I haven't gotten that far yet, so I don't honestly know. I'm just assuming it does. Because that's what... I think I gave the Zimball a terrible shot right there. But yeah, so I'm on one hand, I'm curious about, like, what does the Grandma Apocalypse do? But on the other hand, I'm worried that, like, oh, will this, like, undo a bunch of progress if I do it? Because I really don't want that. Wow, what a terrible Zen shot. So that's what I'm worried about. So that's why I haven't triggered the Grandma Apocalypse yet. Even though I've considered it on several occasions, including, like, right where I am right now. But yeah, and I think, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I can prestige right now if I wanted to, but I'm probably just gonna get to the 6th prestige first, and just hopefully do it there. That's where I think we're gonna end off. I think I meant to talk about Cookie Clicker, and I just kind of forgot during WIBE because I didn't write it down. Yeah, today's show went way, like, easily, like, almost an hour longer than I was expecting. I was expecting a short and quick 2-hour show. No, we went for 3 hours, but almost. Wow. Nintendo Directs just get me talking, even though I also felt like I talked about nothing. But yeah, Cookie Clicker, man. I'll finish it. At the rate I'm going, I'll probably finish it in, like, 2 or 3 weeks. But I've already put over 100 hours into it. I'll say that. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Well, and it's not even like I'm playing it. Okay, admittedly, even with the active time playstyle, I only have to, like, occasionally look at the game, like, every, like, 2 minutes. And now I have a little, like, chime that'll chime every time a golden cookie's on screen, in case I have to pay attention to that. Oh my god. Okay, so earlier I made the joke about how Dwayne The Rock Johnson was in, could have been in in, like, the Mario movie. And the joke I was going to make was that like, if they were going to do a Zelda movie, Dwayne The Rock Johnson would be Ganon. Fucking Nintendo Zelda universe beat me to it. Chris Hemsworth as Link, Elizabeth Olsen as Zelda, Dwayne as The Rock Johnson as Ganondorf, and Danny DeVito as Tingle. Again, Danny DeVito would also have been really funny to be in the Mario movie. Like, as, like, any character. And I've seen a lot of people make Tom Hiddleston as Link jokes. That's just funny. Because I was thinking about that. I really was. But yeah, that's what we're gonna call it today. We'll be back next week with, will we do Peggle again? Probably not. Again, there was that game I was downloading to do tonight. And it might have worked fine. Next week is probably going to be a weird stream, because admittedly the game is going to start off kind of story-driven, and then it'll eventually open up. So next week's WIBE will probably also be 3 hours, but the first hour of that is probably just going to be me actually playing the game. And then we'll get into the news like an hour in, or something like that. Probably. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to give any... hint... Not like anyone's watching. The one hint I will give is that it's something we have joked about before. It's a game I have made jokes about in the past. And that's all I'll say. But yeah, I'm glad I did Peggle tonight. I had fun. I'm surprised I beat the game. Again, I didn't do those last mastery levels, which are probably actually beating the game, but I had fun. Peggle's still a good game. Fucking sucks that EA destroyed PopCap. PopCap was such a promising studio with so many games, and EA bought them and destroyed them. Fucking sucks. But that's EA for you. Fuck EA. Fuck Ubisoft. Fuck Activision Blizzard. Fuck Quantic Dream. And fuck Nintendo. Hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Until next time, peace.